rankings to get into Augusta. But I'm telling you, man, these guys that are on Live Dunaway, these Roms and Koepkas, they miss the buzz that they're feeling today. When they get out there and there's an actual crowd there and they know all the best players in the world are there, they miss that today.
The show being brought to you by our friends at NASCAR. It is fast, it is furious, and it is fantastic people watching.
It is. I love it, man. If you've never been to Talladega Super Speedway, you are missing out. You're cheating yourself. The biggest, baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Super Speedway, has another amazing show in April. It's the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend. April 25th through 27th, the best 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn that you will ever see. You can get tickets to be part of the weekend. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. That is TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. For the Jack Links 500 weekend, April 25th through 27th at Talladega.
I appreciate those fine folks for entertaining us last year. We look forward to being back out there again. A couple of college football notes for you. Missouri edge rusher Ja'Kai Lang is hitting the portal. We're not officially to the portal yet, but a lot of names are popping of people who are going to go to the portal. Lang is one of those guys who, I know he had a sack in the Auburn game against Peyton Thorne. But he's probably their second best edge rusher last year at Missouri, something they've been good at. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. And then Syracuse, we're in the name your starting quarterback time of year. Syracuse named their QB1 yesterday. It is Ricky Collins, who was at LSU, only played in a few games in mop-up. Never threw an incomplete pass at LSU.
Oh, good for him.
He was 7 of 7.
Yeah, perfect passer rating
in his LSU career.
Wow.
Now, the fascinating thing will be, can he even scratch what Kyle McCord did last year for Fran Brown in winning 10 games? I mean, McCord was really good. Like, I don't think, and I give Will Howard a lot of credit, the moxie and just how rah-rah he was. He did come out the other day and say he's the best quarterback in this draft coming up, which is crazy.
Well, boy.
Somebody's got to have a hype machine.
I don't know how different it would have been if Kyle McCord would have stayed in Columbus. I still think they won a national championship. I mean, do you guys disagree?
If Kyle McCord had stayed in Columbus, I think they would have been better in the regular season. And I still think they win the national championship.
Yeah, maybe not, though. You never know.
You never know.
I think they would have been. I mean, my gut tells me there were times it looked like Will Howard was holding them back, but once they got to the postseason, Will Howard was really good.
Anyway, my point, if you can get even close to the production for Fran Brown that you got last year from Kyle McCord, they're going to be in a good spot.
Ricky Collins is the starter. Strong arm. Who do they play the first game?
They play Tennessee in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think that's the Sunday afternoon game. Am I right about that? I think it's part of a Sunday doubleheader.
Yep.
They've got a tough September. And, you never want to include UConn and Duke as tough, but those have become tricky games. They really have. And they've still got at Clemson on September 20th. So, Fran Brown, they're not going to sneak up on anybody after winning 10 games last year.
No, they shouldn't. You're right about that.
Damn, they close with Miami, Notre Dame.
Stallions opening up this weekend. Go ahead.
They've got those back-to-back, Miami, Notre Dame?
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah, they get a bye, excuse me. Right. They are back-to-back games, but they do get a bye in between in November.
Tough finish, yeah.
Stallions are at it this weekend. We were supposed to talk to Perion Winfrey here, but they were practicing as well, and practice has maybe run a little bit long here, but you can get tickets at Protective Stadium.
Yeah, the Birmingham Stallions are 3-time champions. Their home opener is coming up Friday. Post-game fireworks, by the way. The game kicks at 7 on Friday, but post-game fireworks, so stick around for the end. Pack Protective, UFLstallions.com. That is UFLstallions.com. 1-1. They don't lose a lot. They've already lost one game, but they're back home. So you can pack Protective against Arlington, 7 o'clock Friday night, UFLstallions.com.
All right. Interesting note from baseball here. By the way, Braves lose 4-3 last night as Trey Turner hit a winning home run in the 9th inning. Braves are now 2-9, 6 games back of the Phillies. A new pennant race is coming up live at 12:15 today.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live now on a Friday. We'll get to the Masters and what we saw yesterday coming up in just a second. It is Alabama and Auburn spring events happening on campus.
Boy, we have to.
I mean,
we have to be safe.
We'll get into that in just a second. A really unique day with Forrester yesterday. I was just telling you guys about. I've never seen it happen before, but I called it like 30 minutes before it happened. We'll get to that coming up on the show. A viewer earlier this week on Wednesday sent me something in a DM that he wanted me to bring up. He has figured out why Buzz Williams leaves jobs as frequently as he does.
Okay.
And he says, Lance will enjoy the story. I said, tune in Thursday. I will do it. I forgot to do it yesterday. He hit me up yesterday. I just watched the whole show twice. I missed the story.
Watch it a
I
third
said,
time.
I forgot. I said, tune in Friday.
I am fascinated.
Yeah.
So this is why Buzz hops around jobs.
That's right.
And
Every
makes
5 to 6
weird
years.
decisions.
Yes.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to all of that. And some amazing SEC football quarterback news that's going on. But let's first jump into what we saw yesterday at the Masters and what's going on today. It's brought to you by our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. They're there bringing us our Masters updates.
Yeah, great locations throughout Birmingham. If you're getting on the road this spring, whether you're heading to the beach, to the lake, great sporting event, you need to make sure that car is fully serviced bumper to bumper. The professionals, the courteous staff at Vulcan Tire and Automotive, they can handle all of that for you. Very important, when you get into one of those great locations, mention the next round. They're going to give you the best tire pricing in all of Birmingham, guaranteed. For more information, VulcanTireandAuto.com.
Before we get to the leaderboards, I didn't look at anything. I watched it yesterday, a little bit yesterday afternoon in between work. I actually went to Lags
Oh,
for
wow.
lunch.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I'm
look at
sitting on their
this.
patio.
Lags Eatery.
Yeah.
Well, if you're bringing it up, this is good news for Eric and Justin. You must have liked it.
Oh, I loved it. Here's pictures. I loved it so much I posted it on social media.
I mean, that burger and those tots.
Look at that.
So I it says come on into Lags Eatery. I did.
Yeah.
So I planned my afternoon about going to Lags.
That's a cool little location, too, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's me with my Diet Coke sitting there watching the Masters on the patio, eating my burger, the deluxe. And I said, can I get the tots that Lance was talking about and make them extra crispy? And you know what they did? They made them extra crispy. If you ask for something and they don't do it, it drives me crazy. It was a perfect meal, perfect afternoon.
Did you get to meet those guys at all?
I don't. They may have been there.
Okay.
I walked in. I didn't. Hey, I'm Jim from the next round. I just walked in, ordered.
Yeah.
And got great customer service just by being an average person.
Yeah, not an exceptional person like Jim for the next round.
Delicious. I have there was no complaints about anything at Lags there. It was delicious. In fact, while I'm mentioning it, go ahead and tell us about Lags, and then I'll get into the story.
Well, look, Lags, it's located right there in Avondale, between Avondale Brewing and Cahaba. It's a stone's throw from Mom's Basement. Eric and Justin, a couple of Homewood guys, took this nostalgic brand. They put a little spin on it, made it their own. It is now different location, but the same great service, the same great food, from the delicious burgers that Dunaway's talking about. Fantastic sides like the crispy tots. They've got specialty sandwiches, including bologna sandwich. And here's the great thing. They're open till midnight on Wednesday, 2 a.m. on Thursday, 2 a.m. on Friday, and 2 a.m. on Saturday. So you want to get that late night eat on, you can do it at Lags for breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night, and Sunday brunch. Make it Lags Eatery, again, right there at 3rd Court South between Avondale and Cahaba, right across from Mom's Basement.
Yeah, you can't miss it. It's right there on the Parkway. And I was on my way to Moody High School. And I'm sitting there, and I'm watching the Masters. And then I don't pay attention to the Masters after I go do the softball event. Then I get home. Maggie and I hang out. We watch the final episode of The Pit. And then I wake up in the middle of the night, ironically, to go to the bathroom. Okay. And I check my phone, and one of the main headlines on ESPN.com is Masters golfer relieves himself in Rays Creek.
Yes.
And I do this. I go...
This is clearly a dream.
Because it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, what in the world is happening to me? And I read it again.
Yeah.
Headline, ESPN.com. Masters golfer relieves himself in Rays Creek. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a Lance Taylor story if I've ever heard one. Ballister is his last name?
Jose Luis Ballister. He is Spanish. He's a Spaniard.
He's 4 over, by the way.
He is. Well, I mean, he's an amateur. He made this by winning the U.S. Amateur. And So for those that don't know Masters history, the U.S. Amateur is always paired in the first 2 rounds with the defending champion. That's just one of their traditions. So it's not like he's playing in some random group. He's playing with Scotty Scheffler and Justin Thomas.
There's a gallery.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people following that group.
So between 12 and 13, while Justin Thomas is putting, Ballister decides, man, I got to pee.
I got to go, man, when nature calls.
And he runs down to the creek bed like some golfers do. I do it all the time, right into the woods. Here's his part of the story.
Well, I completely forgot that we had those restrooms on the left of the tee box.
Oh, okay. 13th tee.
Yes, correct. And then I'm like, I really need to pee. Didn't really know where to go, and since JT had an issue around the green, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sneak here in the river. Probably the people would not see me that much, and then they clap for me. Probably one of the clubs that I really got today, like really loud. So that was kind of funny.
Are you concerned that there might be any blowback from that at all? Or I mean, obviously, they did see you, right?
Yeah, they saw me. They saw me. I mean, it was not embarrassing at all for me. So if I had to do it again, I would do it again.
Have you seen my snake friend?
Europeans.
First of all, humble brag.
Yeah, no, not the better
Hey,
thing.
did I miss something on the upside down sun devil? Is that like a golf thing?
Those upside down hats. It's not a golf thing.
No, it's an everything. It's been going on for about almost a year now.
I don't understand
I've
it.
never seen one.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Never seen one of those hats.
No,
they're
it's
everywhere.
everything. It's if we should have an upside down next round logo.
We should.
Yeah, let's don't do it. Let's don't.
I'm just saying,
Don't
it's
give
a
it Jimmy
trend.
Current. Let's don't do it.
What's it called? Anybody know what it's called?
Upside down letters.
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I've
but
never
I've seen
understood
them.
it.
Yeah.
I've really never. I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
yeah, they're all over the place.
I mean, I agree.
It's so horrible. It's a trend that I have not jumped on.
Yeah.
That's how horrible it is.
Now, lest you think that people don't pee in the woods at Augusta, because when you're playing golf, like I play a lot of golf, played yesterday, when you got to go, you got to go. And I go in the woods, now.
At Augusta?
I've never played Augusta, Jim.
But
in
I'm
spite
just-
of this shirt
Yeah.
that I'm wearing, I've never actually played Augusta.
But I'm asking, even at Augusta, like if I'm at Shoal Creek, I'm going to hold it until I get to a bathroom.
Yeah, I would feel a little weird. Like if I'm,
I've peed in the woods at Shoal Creek. So how do you determine what level of golf course you're willing to pee in the woods or not?
Whether they would have me as a member or not.
yeah. Whether they.
Jim, you ain't peeing anywhere, my friend.
What about if they've ever had any controversy on membership before?
Like,
That's
seriously.
probably the course you don't want to piss on.
I mean, the guy asked him because he's being serious. Do you expect any blowback by this? It wasn't embarrassing to the Spaniard, I know, but
When you first said it, I thought it was kind of a no-no to pee on that course.
I thought they would kick him out of the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so uppity and stuff.
you
You can't even
guys
call them fans.
have played a ton before, and there's sometimes it's just impossible to get to a bathroom. Have you ever had to grow a tail on a course?
Yeah.
I put my pants at Bent Brook. We told the story on the air.
I was playing in a tournament at Spring Hill Golf Course down in Mobile. This is back. It was between my senior year in high school and my freshman year at Jack State. So I was playing in some event down there, and we got to number 8, and I told the 2 guys I'm playing with, when we make the turn, if I could put out first, I gotta go, and if y'all may be in the 10th fairway by the time I tee off. So if they hit their second shots into 10, I'm DQ'd, right?
Yeah.
So I'm giving them a heads up if y'all could, tap the brakes a little bit. We teed off on 9, and I said, guys, I am not making it to the clubhouse. I'll catch up in a second. Yeah. Had to go in the woods, take care of it.
Wow.
A little TCB in the woods.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
I mean,
he's told that story before. You had to use your golf towel, right?
I did. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Leave it in the woods.
You got to do something, right? So I took my golf towel and, did the cleanup and left her in the woods right there. I don't
What
know
do you do
what
with
else
the
to do
golf
with it.
towel?
Left it in the woods.
Yeah, there's on the windmill at Bent Brook.
That's not biodegradable.
It is not, no, but it's also not going back in my golf bag.
Going to par 3, number 7 on Windmill, off in the woods over there. There's still a pair of Manscaped underwear, boxer briefs, and Jim's golf towel.
Wow. And we're
Unless a
we're
raccoon-
worried about picking up shit up on the moon. I know. You guys are dropping it on golf course.
Unless a
And
raccoon.
they call golf a pretentious sport.
I don't
I'm
know
right there
why.
with you, Melvin.
We're just
What
normal
the-
people. Yeah.
No, but I mean, if you would have flipped this around, if he takes a shit in Ray's Creek.
Yeah, it's probably a bigger deal.
Yeah, I'm just saying that one surprised
Well,
me.
Yeah, it surprises me.
But it's not the first time it's ever happened at Augusta. Scott has a photo that is purported to be legendary SEC football coach and Heisman Trophy winner Steve Spurrier peeing in the woods at Augusta.
At Augusta National?
At Augusta National.
Is that when he took his shirt off and had the Coors Light or whatever?
That was not at Augusta, I don't think, but it has happened before at Augusta that Steve Spurrier.
Forster has the picture. We're about to see it. But this isn't during the Masters. He's
He's
playing around at Augusta
Yeah, they don't do
National.
the Pro-Am.
He was the
Augusta.
coach at South Carolina at
He
the
was
time.
the coach at South Carolina at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember when this leaked out, no pun intended, because people were making a big deal like, oh, my God, Steve Spurrier's peeing in the woods at Augusta. I'm like, guys, I've just never had an issue with peeing. Y'all don't think deer pee in the woods?
Yeah.
Y'all don't think raccoons pee
Yeah,
in the
but-
woods?
It
mean,
does
Y'all
look
don't
a
think
little more natural, though, when
beavers
they're
pee in
doing
the
it.
woods?
You're at Augusta National.
Deer pee in the woods at Augusta National.
Yeah, but it's deers. We expect a little bit more from the golfers or the patrons.
It's a long way away, so you have to take the photographers.
Yeah, that
You have to take his word that that's Steve Spurrier.
could be Steve Spurrier. It could be Steve Spurrier Jr. It could be Steve Johnson,
Yeah.
John Spurrier. It could be anybody.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that's Steve Spurrier.
I would deny that one. It's more like a McElwain on that
a
shark,
shark.
than Steve Spurrier
Yeah, it could
being in
be.
the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So that wasn't the worst disaster yesterday at Augusta National. Former Alabama golfer Nick Dunlap, they're starting to question whether or not that was the worst opening round in the history of the Masters. Nick Dunlap shot a 90 yesterday at Augusta National. Obviously last place after round one. How far in last place, Lance?
He's only 18 back. No, excuse me. He's 18 now. Rose is 8 under, so 26 back.
Yeah, he's 26, but I don't think he's going to.
He was 11 strokes from moving out of last place. There was the next to last place guy, 11 strokes to get to Nick Dunlap. That's how far back he was.
Yeah, so 18 of the last 19 Masters, the winners have all at least been within 4 shots of the leader. So I think 26 back, he's probably not going to make up that ground.
Yeah, I was talking to Bo the other day, or Bo yesterday. He's like, he could shoot a 58 tomorrow and still miss the cut.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be a big story, wouldn't it?
Set a record and miss the guy.
Yeah, it really would be a huge story. Boy, there was some bad golf yesterday.
There
Some
was.
great golf, but some bad golf.
Nick's got a lot on his plate right there. We'll jump to other things, but that is a Vulcan tire. Oh, give us the leaderboard.
Okay.
It's Justin Rose. Nobody else out there yet, right?
Among the leaders, no. Justin Rose is he birdied the second, so he's 2-8 under par. So he's got a 4-shot lead over Oberg, Connors, and Scheffler. He's a good story, Justin Rose is. Do you all know his story?
Yeah, I mean, I know his master story. I mean, I know it's interesting because I brought up, I said, I think he's around 40, and you were like, maybe. He's 44.
44. It's crazy.
He's chasing the senior tour. He was 7 under in the opening round in 2021.
Yeah.
He plays this course really well.
Oh, yeah, he's always good here at Augusta.
So he's had the first round lead 5 different times,
Yeah.
most by a non-Masters champion.
I know, but he was, Dunaway, a 17-year-old amateur in the 1998 British Open
Oh, wow.
and led on Saturday as an amateur, a 17-year-old amateur. Now, can you imagine a Brit leading the British Open as a 17-year-old amateur? How big a story that was.
Oh, Tiger Woods-esque.
On Sunday, holes out on 18 to finish 4th. And, I mean, the Brits went nuts over this guy, right? That next Monday, the day after, he turns pro.
Why not?
Why not? Proceeds to miss his next 21 cuts. 21 consecutive cuts he missed.
You need to be telling this story to Nick Dunlap right now.
Probably a mental issue.
Yeah, and you know how the British tabloids are, and they crucified the poor kid. And he was 17, 18 years old at the time.
Oh, I got the headline for you.
Well, let me guess.
Every rose has its thorns.
I was going to say the scent is off the rose.
That's another good one.
The rose has lost its bloom.
I mean, if we went on so long, we'd have to have multiple headlines,
Yeah.
LT.
But to his credit, he didn't bellyache, he didn't bitch, he didn't cry. He just kept working, and it finally turned around for the guy. And I respect a guy like that. He's won a U.S. Open. He's had a tremendous career, been a great Ryder Cup player, and maybe he adds a green jacket.
Yeah, would love to see that happen this weekend. maybe there's other guys I'd like to see win. That's a Vulcan Tire leaderboard update. Tell us again about Vulcan Tire.
Great locations throughout Birmingham. Very important. Mention the next round, and you're going to get the best tire pricing in Birmingham guaranteed. Look, if you're rolling on all tires, you don't need to be doing that. You need to stop into one of those locations. Get everything checked bumper to bumper. You're going to be traveling this spring and summer. Our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive, they can handle everything bumper to bumper for you and your car. For more information, VulcanTireandAuto.com.
And you may be taking that car over to NASCAR's Talladega racetrack. And if you are going to the Talladega Superspeedway, you're going to see the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. It's the biggest, baddest track in NASCAR. Ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been, you're missing 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. The Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend, April 25th through 27th, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
All right. Tomorrow is the A-Day events. I want you to hear a little bit from Auburn and Alabama first, and then while we're listening to these guys, I want you to tell me if you think this is the last A-Days after we're listening to these guys and reacting to them. And then in your mind, think of something else in sports that has gone away that you miss, okay? So I'm giving you a little heads up here as we listen. Tim Melton, who's sitting in for Tyler again today, who's still recovering, I guess, from his date.
On Monday.
Give me cut for Jeremy Bernard of Alabama. He got asked yesterday by Emily Grace and others who were over on campus on what fans can expect to see at A-Day in Tuscaloosa tomorrow.
They should watch everything. Our practices are very intense, so it kind of simulates the game in a way. We're not going to be live, but it's going to be some intensity. It's going to be some thudding, guys making plays. It's not going to really be a fall off from the live period. I mean, that's the only thing that we're missing, really. But other than that, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us to have another practice and get better as a team.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot like a practice, if you've ever wondered what a practice looks like.
A lot of thudding, which means not a lot of tackling.
Yeah, you hit them, but you don't take them to the ground.
Don't take them to the ground.
The thud, which I didn't learn about until Nick Saban was the coach. Maybe they've been doing it forever, but that was something Saban really loved because most of the injuries happen when you go to the ground. While we're in Tuscaloosa, give me cut number 5. Bernard had a chance to get asked about Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and then who's the other guy, and he talks about Miami's Isaiah Horton.
They should watch everything.
One more time. Cut number 5. That was my bad there, Milton. Isaiah Horton's the kid that came from Miami and has been turning some heads.
I mean, obviously, we see the length that he brings. He has great natural hands. He has great speed. He can stretch the field. He can make contested catches. So I mean, it's gonna be good for the offense. I mean, we have another weapon that can go out there and ball, and plus he has experience within the game, so he has a lot of IQ and he has a good feel for the game.
His media guide height is 6'4", 209 media guide height.
It's a long receiver.
Yeah, I've obviously not seen him in person yet, and I haven't seen him standing next to guys, so I don't know how close that is. But he
and Ryan Williams would be this.
Yeah, I mean, first thing he mentioned is his length, and 6'4", as you said, that is a tall receiver.
Yeah, because Ryan Williams not a big receiver. Jeremy Bernard, kind of an average 6'1". I am really interested to see who that third receiver is going to be because I think Bernard got more and more comfortable as the season went on. Obviously, Ryan Williams had his better part of the season of the first half, kind of hit that freshman wall, had some of the drops, but he should be tremendous in year 2. I think Bernard's going to be really good, and really, who is going to be that 3?
I mean, Williams obviously will get game planned a lot by Alabama's opponents, which sometimes opens up the door for maybe Bernard to lead the team in receiving.
Yeah, it's hard to believe outside of, and we talked about how out of sync the offense was the majority of the year last year, but it's hard to believe not only did you not have 1,000-yard, not even a 900-yard receiver, but outside of Ryan Williams, nobody had more than 2 touchdown receptions on Alabama's team last year.
That is hard to believe. As many catches as Bernard got to not have 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Oots had 2 and Bernard had 2, and those were the only guys with multiple touchdowns outside of the 8 that Ryan Williams had.
Yeah, and he got a lot of his, it felt like, early.
I mean, go back when Devontae Smith won the Heisman Trophy. How many touchdowns did he have? It was 20, right?
Probably, because keep in mind, he played the last half of that year without Jalen Waddle out there.
Yeah.
Because Waddle had gotten injured, so he was getting all the catches. Devontae Smith's 2020 season, he had 23 touchdown receptions.
Wow.
That was...
Does that count to bowl games? Probably, yeah.
13 games, so yeah.
Hey, guess what? That was 6 more than the entire team last year.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good season.
I mean,
by
that
him.
was arguably the greatest season in college history for a wide receiver.
For a wide receiver, yeah.
Down at Auburn, it's all about finding that next quarterback. Here is Auburn's head coach, Hugh Freeze, on Jackson Arnold and what he's brought to the team.
Yeah, I knew of him out of high school, and his fundamentals for what we want to do fit us. His legs are good enough to run. I think his arm strength's really good. People don't maybe not know that because you haven't really seen it unless you go watch his high school stuff where he was Gatorade Player of the Year. And I think he can make every throw. I think he needed a restart, and for whatever reason, and that's not a knock on anybody else. Those things just happen. But he fit with me in our visits and with the culture that we want here. I think he fits that. And then his skill set, I think, is really good. And he's throwing it at a high level right now to guys he believes in and trusts that they're going to make plays on the ball for him. And hopefully that confidence just continues to grow.
Hugh Freeze's subtle destruction of Oklahoma's offense last year. If you want to see his arm strength, you'll need to go watch his high school film.
I mean, that was a shot. He kind of pulled it back subtly.
Yeah,
but I mean, for
true.
Jackson Arnold, I mean, really, you do go from Brent Venables, who I think everybody agrees really good defensive coach, but the offense has been a mess. And now you go to a guy that knows offense really well and has had a lot of success with quarterbacks throughout his history as a head coach. And you also go to a coach that is going to be calling plays with urgency, and they've got to make it happen this year.
You mentioned how bad Oklahoma's offensive line was yesterday on the show.
Gave up 50 sacks this year.
And you mentioned we have several times, including going into the Alabama game last year, how injured their receiving room was. So having a healthy offensive line and a talented receiving room was just part of the reason Jackson Arnold chose Auburn. The other was the guy just talking, Hugh Freeze. He has a connection with him. Here's Jackson.
I feel like I fit very well. And that was one of the things he told me out of the portal, too, is he knows what I did in high school and what we did in college, and my scheme has always been very similar to what Coach Freeze runs. I know what he expects out of the RPO system and just the system in general. And I feel like for me coming in, it was big because, all these plays I've ran before, they're just called something different. So I was able to pick up the offense really quick and, be efficient early on with, decision-making and accuracy and whatnot.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze's RPO game, that's where he eats. That's where he makes his money.
If we had a quarterback combine for the 16 projected starting quarterbacks and even backups, throw them in there, and you had all 16 head coaches picking quarterbacks, and that's what they were going 1 through 16, where do you guys think Arnold would go? I think there's a lot of unknowns at the quarterback position.
There are a ton of unknowns, but he's among them.
We know DJ Lagway, Lenore Sellers, Arch Manning.
More on that coming up next segment.
More on DJ Lagway.
Okay. But you do
the story
three.
Out of Gainesville next segment.
I know. I'm just talking about pure talent, right?
Pure talent.
But those three. But then I hesitate. Like anybody Alabama's got on the roster, do you feel great to take them in front of Jackson Arnold?
No, you're right.
But I also don't feel
Gunnar
great.
Stockton. I mean, I'm thinking like Jackson Arnold. If he would have gone to Georgia, I think people. This whole conversation would be so different.
No, you're exactly right. There's a couple of guys you think you know, Nussmeier at LSU, and then you get to a clutter of quarterbacks from somewhere around 3 to 14 that you could get very interchangeable there, and we will.
Yeah, even guys like Nico.
More on that in the next segment.
We had a conversation in Austin about that yesterday.
2 big SEC quarterback stories coming up in the next segment. But
so maybe we can tail end this on the other side.
The thing you miss in sports as we maybe say goodbye to our A-Days in our state after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our wonderful friends at Bojangles Brownie.
That's right. You make a lot of difficult decisions throughout the day. One that can be easy for you is lunch at Bojangles. Go get those Bo Bites, bite-sized hand-breaded chicken, fried to crispy perfection. Perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you are on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only part that is difficult, choosing from the 6 dipping sauces, one for every craving. The creamy house-made ranch, the sweet, spicy peach, honey pepper sauce. Just depends on the kind of mood you are in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today. Discover the dippable, shareable, craveable Bo Bites. It's Bo time.
I don't know the origin of spring cleaning, but I would think part of spring cleaning would be also cleaning those gutters out.
Dig it out.
Yeah.
It is the last thing you want to do. You want to be laying on that couch watching the Masters all weekend long. Call our friend Chris Stewart. He will come out. He'll do the heavy lifting for you. Gutter Cap is a patented aluminum cover system. Only allows water inside of the gutters. It keeps out the unwanted debris to eliminate gutter clogs. You will never, ever have to clean the gutters again. I'm speaking from experience. 22 years in business for Chris Stewart at Gutter Cap. Over 20 years, A+, rated with the Better Business Bureau. Chris Stewart, the owner, is honored to serve on the board of directors for the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of satisfied customers. No pressure, no BS approach. And they have a special discounted price if you mention the next round. 205-823-2212. Lifetime warranty on clog-free performance. Free estimate as well. Call C-Stu today. Tell him the next round sent you. 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
I'll tell you what I miss, and these could be the last 2 A-Days of all time. They'll go away. We'll see how it all plays out. I miss fun sports programming. Not the Battle of the Network Stars, but there was something where you had real athletes, and they would do 10 events, and they would keep up if you finish this and that. It was like a par 3 golf. It was an obstacle course. It was like the Battle of the Network Stars, but it was the athletes. Like you'd have Calvin Harris of the Cowboys, and you'd have, John Havlicek of the Celtics. And
See, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Battle of the Network Stars, though, I loved it. And the thing that was interesting about that is these things would just come on. It wasn't like I knew they were ever coming on. I know we had the thing called the TV Guide back in the day.
Yeah.
Does that still exist, by the way? It can't, right?
No, there's no reason for a TV guide.
I mean, it would be impossible. I don't think they could print it. They wouldn't even figure out what's going to be on when.
yeah, I mean,
We don't know.
CBS is holding the game for 6 days. You can just put college football.
But even if you saw Battle of the Network Stars, it would be like, live tape delay or whatever, ABC 3340, but it wouldn't have the athletes. You would wait, and then they would introduce them. I was like, is there going to be a Ram? Is there going to be a Ram?
I think it was called
Seriously.
I think it was called Superstars. Can you Google 70s?
The one you're talking
television
about, right?
Superstars, yeah. And it was sort of like Battle of the Network Stars, but it was actual athletes who were playing at that time.
Like Bo Jackson would have been incredible at this.
Right, but they didn't have it when Bo was a star. But like Lynn Swan, I remember Lynn Swan being in it. It's like rowing in a pool to the other end in a relay with your team and that kind of thing. I think it was called Superstars.
You are correct.
It was?
Yes. It ran from 73 to 84. They relaunched it 91 to 94, and then 98 to 2002, then 2009. They've tried to bring this thing back a lot of times.
Yes, this is
How did I miss it in all these windows?
I don't know.
Do you remember it
I
at all?
don't.
But
I
they were-
remember something called Star Shot. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
ESPN used to show Star Shot, and it was a grid, like a triangular grid, and it was at night. That's why they call it Star Shot. And they would bring on celebrities, like Jack Wagner or somebody like that, right? And they would have to shoot the skeet. It was on ESPN.
By the way, very good golf player.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember this?
that,
And they
yeah.
would throw it up, and you would get points for whichever grid you shot it in.
Yeah.
The more difficult, the more points you would
But it
get.
was just shooting.
Yeah, it was just ski shooting. Like, I don't
And
really...
it was called...
Star Shot.
Yeah.
So they would bring on, again, stars and heavy quotes.
I know I
there.
give you hell for never seeing, and now we found out this week you've never seen Jurassic Park.
That's right,
and
I've
Die
never seen
Hard.
Jurassic Park.
I have never seen an episode of Star Search back in the day.
Star Search. I didn't really watch Star Search that
With
much.
Ed McMahon. I thought it was a big deal,
Yeah,
though.
I saw
It
it.
was,
like the
kind of
original
American Idol,
Yeah.
basically.
It would come on like Sunday nights, right?
Yeah, there's Star
I
Shot.
don't remember.
Look. So they would bring on like B-list celebrities, and they
That
would...
looks very cultish from just the logo.
Yeah, you would shoot in whatever grid you shot it in, you would get a point value.
Yeah. It actually looks like if you get 3 friends to buy in and then you get 4 friends to buy in.
Me and Brown were talking about this the other day. The pyramid scheme seems to be dead.
Yeah, have you been hit up for a pyramid scheme in forever?
Pyramid scheme, but there's a lot of
It's been 5 or 6 years for me.
Yeah,
And
it's
you got
been
hit up for the same one.
I got hit up for the same one in a ambush lunch one day.
Yeah, I did too.
Got invited to lunch, and I had my radar down and didn't know it was going to be a pyramid scheme.
Hey,
when
I
get
will
there.
say this, and I can say this now, and I'm not going to say the name, but at my ambush lunch is a current SEC
I thought about
basketball
that.
coach.
I thought about that the other day.
Yeah. How about that?
That money does not mean that much to him. No.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, here we go. What about you guys? What do you miss?
I miss the All-Star game seeming like they meant something.
Just the baseball one?
Whether it was baseball or the NBA or even the Pro Bowl. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just as a kid and we were just really limited on programming.
Yeah. Well,
don't feel sorry for us, but we were. But there was something about all these great players coming together. And they took pride. Like, if you got selected to the Pro Bowl, everybody went back in the day in the 80s. I mean, that was a great honor.
Because
and you got paid a little bit.
You got paid a little bit. You didn't make the same money, and you got a free trip to Hawaii.
Yeah, you got to take the whole family.
Do you remember the NBA All-Star game? I don't remember the year it is, but Jordan, like they took turns on who could guard Jordan. Do you remember
that?
And at the end, I think Magic was on him, and the crowd went crazy.
Yeah.
Like just to see Magic rotate out on Jordan. Jordan's up by the timeline in front of the bench, and Magic comes out on him, and the crowd goes nuts.
It seems like the 92 All-Star game.
Well, the 92 All-Star game was in Orlando, and that was when Magic it was the first competitive game he had played since coming back from HIV.
That's right.
And he
think
was
it
making
was that game.
crazy like shots.
Yeah.
I think he had like 22 points and
But my point was they actually played defense then, because that was the whole thing is Jordan had the ball, and they were rotating Western Conference guys out there on him.
A Major League Baseball All-Star game in Atlanta, by the way, coming up. I think it's July 15th.
I had no idea it was in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, July 15th. And I think
You'll be there with the spray tan.
They haven't announced the official dates of SEC Media
we'll
Days,
be there, right?
but I believe it falls.
Oh, it always does.
We'll be in
Yep.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's
'cause we were-
it's open programming for ESPN. And
Right.
I think the SEC office would love that. No official date yet, but I would almost bet on it being
And
July
that
14th.
that was all the
question,
talk
which-
last year because we were at Dallas last
And the
year, and the
All-Star
All-Star game
games,
was out there, and they were like, hey, Atlanta has the All-Star game.
This is going to be more for Emily Grace because I don't think anybody on this staff has ever had a spray tan. I know
I have
Taylor
not.
hasn't.
Nope.
If we're sitting out there at Truist and we're drinking beer, whether we go to the home run or the All-Star game, do you sweat out the
I don't think
spray
so.
tan?
Do you sweat a tan
Do you
off?
smell?
No,
Yeah, I don't know.
I
That's
bet
a
you
good
do
question.
smell. You have to.
I don't think so. For instance, I got a friend who's getting married tomorrow, and
going?
She drove up. So we must have the best spray tan places in town. She drove up here to get her spray tan.
that's good
yesterday
news for
the
you,
wedding.
Lance.
Well, where did she come from?
Montgomery.
Yeah,
Wow.
I bet we have better spray tans.
Than Montgomery.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for
Yeah,
you.
good point.
I'm just saying. So, yeah, are you going to the wedding?
I'm at Auburn's A-Day tomorrow. You know me in weddings.
Well, you just said your friend, did he not?
I didn't go to either one of y'all's weddings.
Well, that's
Well,
right.
you
I
weren't
didn't know you.
invited.
I didn't know you.
Yeah,
then.
and I really didn't know you either. I
yeah.
didn't know you then.
Yeah. So, what about you? No, you did All-Star. What about you, Brownie?
I mean, mine is not sports. I was thinking as you brought this up, like I don't. First of all, A-Days I will not miss.
Let me
I
add one
find them
thing
terribly
as you're
boring. Yeah.
setting yours up. I miss mid-majors making runs in the NCAA tournament.
Well, I was talking about that earlier.
Well, you missed that a long time. 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, but
We're
don't-
never going to see it
Yeah,
again,
but
though.
I think that's the problem is you're not going to see it again. I kind of miss, like, nostalgia-wise, the shared experience of, like, whether it was Sopranos or, for some people, Friends or
That's right.
whatever. When that was your only option to watch it and was the shared experience, everybody watched it and you were all talking about it the next day.
That's right. You showed up at work the next day and everybody's like, man, can you believe the
That's
ending
right.
of Sopranos?
You know, the most talked about right now is White Lotus. It is
know.
crazy how many people are watching
Whereas
White Lotus.
Jennifer and I are watching White Lotus, and I came in the other day. I was like, "Oh, guys, I saw the episode in season 1," and you're like, "What episode?" And I was like, "The one," and y'all like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
And you still haven't.
Okay, well, I'm getting close because I think we're down to one. Is the last one?
Did
out?
our man, our mom, when they were talking about taking out a boat, he was like, it's biblical out there.
He did.
I mean,
He's
some of the
such a good
lines are
character.
great,
Such
right?
a good character. But there was that shared experience. Is like everybody would have come in and had watched it the night before. And you're talking, can you believe this happened on Sopranos or whatever the case might be?
shared experience.
Yeah, it was a shared experience. You don't get that anymore because of streaming.
No, you
People
don't.
watch it at different times.
And now people get worried about the spoiler alert, right?
That's right.
You didn't the other day.
What did I say the other day?
That's about 1923. and
All I
everybody-
said was there was complete carnage. Like
Yeah.
it
They could
couldn't
not
go on
do
another
another show,
season.
yeah.
And I think people that are keeping up with it probably know
There's no way
that
to
it was
know.
done after 2.
All right. Good luck to the final A-Day events, whatever they look like tomorrow in Tuscaloosa and Auburn. Some amazing, impactful, potential devastating SEC quarterback moves at 2 contenders. We'll talk Tennessee, Florida quarterbacks when we come back on the show. That's being brought to you by a couple of great sponsors. One of them, our friends at Hemphill. They bring you Lance'sLock.com every day, Lance'sLock.com. Have the Braves last night? Is there walk-off win?
I only had one game. We had the Hawks last night and covered that, so we're coming off another winning night for you. Here's the cool thing. We've got 2 Major League Baseball games up, both night games, but we have 3 second-round Masters matchups. First guy tees off at 11:22, so you still got a couple of hours.
Go quick.
If you're listening to us live to jump on board. 3 match plays. We're going 3-0 today. They're right there. One of these you're going to absolutely love. Jump on board, Lance'sLock.com. Free play every single day. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services, and they want to remind you, spring weather is here. Our friends at Hemphill, they're offering the $1,000 off the new HVAC install, 0% financing. Go see Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. Keep up with that changing weather. Locally owned and operated, independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
You can play some of those matchups Lance was talking about there at mybookie.ag, where Scotty Scheffler is now plus 170. Rose still plus 600. Can you believe that?
No, I really can't because, he birdies 2. I know he's blown this lead, I guess 8 times,
that's
technically,
true. Good
but
point.
Still. I mean, 44-year-old, he's just got to play strategic golf now, right?
Yeah, it's true. Scheffler plus 170 to win. You can get all of that right there at mybookie.ag. Code next round. When you sign on at mybookie.ag, code next round gets you that 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 and a $10 casino chip. MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Superspeedway is ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to this track, you've got to come check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway. It's April 25th through the 27th, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with mybookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, May 2nd through the 4th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, O'Ward, Dixon, and Newgarden will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness Miss America Abby Stockard give the most iconic command in all of racing as the Grand Marshal. May starts here. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours today.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Okay, big SEC football news coming up. A couple more of our great sponsors includes our friends at the Golfist, Brownie.
Yeah, you can go watch the golf when you play some golf. We were talking about that yesterday on the golf course, actually. Somebody brought up in my group, the Golfist, like, could I play the course I'm watching on TV? I was like, frequently this week? Yes, you can. Right there at the Golfist. You can see more at thegolfist.com, thegolfist.com. Great locations of Vestavia, Trustville, Highway 280, Birmingham's best indoor golf simulators. You bring your own food, bring your own beverage, bring your own alcohol, bring your own clubs. It is fun. It's a great social event. Hang out with the buddies. Just have a great time at the Golfist. Book a base. See more at thegolfist.com. Thegolfist.com, Birmingham's best golf simulators.
That's the worst penmanship I've ever seen.
And our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Tell us about our friends
it
at
like
New York
Alley
Butcher.
something.
Yeah.
New York Butcher Shop weekend is here. Pick up a couple of steaks on your way home. You can have those smash burgers pre-made. They ball them up with all the great seasoning in there. Just a fantastic place to go for lunch or dinner with those huge deli sandwiches. Get and see Jim and his great staff. The original location, the original location, Cabo Heights, now Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service, one-stop dinner shop. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Let's go Tennessee first on these two big SEC stories before we get to Todd Fuhrman coming up at the top of the hour. Nico Iamaleava in active negotiations, according to Pete Nakos of On3 Sports. Active negotiation, contract negotiations, it says. So basically, in NFL terms, this is a holdout of some form or fashion. And there's still a spring portal window that opens shortly. It's unclear if it'll impact his 2025 season, according to Nakos, or if Nico will enter the portal at the end. What do you guys make of this story in Knoxville, Tennessee?
The first I heard of it yesterday, I was on with our friends Chip and Zay in Austin. They asked me about it. We all remember, and who knows how correct and accurate the numbers were for Nico back when he originally signed with Tennessee. It was like $6 to $8 million. Tennessee obviously had a really good year, winning 10 games, going to a college football playoff. I don't want to say it was in spite of Nico. I don't want to say it was because of Nico. He was good, but he wasn't great. I don't think he's in a position to really negotiate this unless he looks behind him on the depth chart and he's, you know what? My man Heupel ain't got a number two even close to me. That's kind of what I read into this, because if I was Heupel and I had somebody that was even close, I'd be like, son, you need to kick rocks.
We saw the UNLV quarterback try this at the beginning, in the middle of the season last year. They got off to the hot start, and Barry Odom said,
yeah, it didn't affect him at all.
See you, buddy.
And that was over like 20 grand. This is going to be over millions and millions of dollars. But I don't know about you guys. Like, I thought Nico was good, and I'm waiting for him to maybe break out on the other side. But in Heupel's offense, I mean, he wasn't Hendon Hooker.
Brown, what this shows you is that the market in Nico and Nico's agent's mind has changed from when he signed that massive deal to sign with Tennessee. He feels like now other quarterbacks are making more money. It's exactly what happens in the NFL when, okay, I've got a quarterback contract. I am the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And then all of a sudden, Eli Manning's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Then it's Russell Wilson. And then it's Ben Roethlisberger. And then all of a sudden,
wait a second, I'm the 8th highest paid quarterback. Then
Yeah.
it's time for me to hold out because I don't want to be the 8th highest paid quarterback in the NFL anymore.
And by the way, it should be noted that Nico's father is disputing this, and he did so very publicly. Called Pete Nikos of On 3 Sports a bitch.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
the B word.
The B word, and it is. So it's being disputed by them. Nico's, according to Iamaleavea's dad, Nico's told him, my sources from inside the University of Tennessee football department, I trust him with my life. Now, that's according to Nico's dad. Nico's, I don't know that he has said that himself. So it is being disputed. So let's be upfront about that.
Is 300 yards passing a big day in college football?
It's a good day. I wouldn't call it a big day.
I mean, it is.
It's what I expect out of an elite quarterback.
It's what I expect out of depending on your style of offense, it's what I expect out of it.
In the NFL, I expect an elite quarterback to be 280 plus on a Sunday. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's
280
fair.
plus.
Like
And in
if you're an
college,
elite runner in the NFL, if you give me 90 yards, I'm like, that's a great day, 90 yards rushing.
In college, an elite quarterback, I expect to probably be 320 plus.
Yeah.
On a day.
So Nico, and I brought this up going into the postseason last year, he had one 300-yard passing game, and that was week 1 against Chattanooga. I mean, some of the other games, and when you talk about signature wins, I was up in Knoxville for that Alabama game, and he made a couple of nice throws in the second half, but they didn't win because of Nico.
No.
He passed for 194 yards. Against Ohio State, where they got embarrassed, he passed for 104 yards. It's not like he's gone out and single-handedly won games in this high-powered, hypo offense.
When Clay said it the other day that he's projected to be a top 5 draft pick, is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I was floored. I just thought this is Clay being Clay.
I do think he dreamed that.
This is
because
Clay
I haven't
being
found
Clay.
that anywhere.
I haven't seen it anywhere.
But I don't know who the top 5 quarterbacks even are, or the top 5 draft picks even are.
So being disputed, but Nico says that he trusts his source inside the program with his life. Is that what Pete Nico's of On 3 says?
That's what Nico's dad says Nico's told him.
Okay.
I don't know that Pete Nikos has said that publicly.
Yeah.
But his dad, Nico's dad, disputed the story and said, Nikos told me his source is someone from inside the Tennessee football department he trusts with his life.
Yeah, I would say this. I have seen in the short period of time, and I'm not an insider with Alabama football at all, or Auburn football. I am just a guy. But I have
a jag.
I have heard and seen guys that would surprise you that they went back and asked for more money.
Oh, well, again, I don't think it's the athlete a lot of these times. I think it is you need to get in there and get what's yours. And this is probably the same situation with Nico.
Sometimes parents.
A lot of times agents now, they're wanting to keep up with the other.
Yeah. And here's why. And I can't remember if we discussed it off air or if I just streamed it or if we discussed it on air. But the agents in college oftentimes are not the agents that are going to represent them in the NFL.
I brought that up because somebody in college athletics told me the biggest issue right now is a lot of these agents aren't approved by the NFLPA, and they know they can't be. So if you're not an NFLPA approved agent, you can't represent an NFL player. So they have to make their money in this.
That's right.
This 3-year window right here in college. That's the only time they're going to make money off.
So if I'm representing Lance Taylor, I know I'm not going to get you in the NFL. You're going to go on to, what is it, CAA or
whoever's an NFLPA, and there are a ton of those.
We're going to go to the big guys, but this is my chance to make millions off of you, so we got to get ours now.
But also what you're doing is you're driving the market value up, much like Jimmy Sexton does with college coaches. You float something out there, so if you get more for Nico than your other quarterback,
that's right.
Maybe it's Carson Beck at Miami. Now you can come back and get more for him.
Well, that's exactly right. And we just saw the Texas Tech guy that Matt Norlander reported was close to $4 million. JT Toppin, close to $4 million to come back to Texas Tech. Others saying it's closer to $3 million, but either way, it's between $3 or $4 million. If I'm Nico and I'm sitting there at Tennessee, I'm a freaking quarterback at Tennessee.
Yeah. Anyway, it's twice as much.
What am I worth?
Yeah,
twice as much as Chris Beard was making as their head coach, taking them to play for a national championship.
Yeah.
But do we even have an accurate number on what Nico got? Because this is so random. But when I was in Knoxville 3 years ago, was that when the incredible Tennessee shootout win?
Yep.
Nico's cousin was sitting next to us at a brunch spot, so we struck up a conversation And at that point, the at least the rumor was he was getting $6 million to come on campus. I think that was the number.
It was a big number.
So you break that down for 3 years. That's just that.
It's only $2 million.
It's only $2 million a year.
Yeah. Flacco, who's won a Super Bowl, just got a 1 year, $4 million deal, and now other guys are going to be making more that have never won anything in front of them.
If you had an actual elite college quarterback, $2 million a year is a bargain.
Oh, it is.
No, that's the going price for a starting quarterback in the portal right now on the Power 4 level, $1.5 to $2 million.
Well, I mean, that's I think what Jackson Arnold got at Auburn is about $2 million. So we'll see if he's worth $2 million or not.
And I don't have a problem Nico asking for more if he deserved it. Like, I would need to know what that number is right now, and really what the true market value is of an kind of I don't want to call him an elite. A better than average quarterback, and Nico does have elite skills, and maybe he gets there. But my whole point is, when I watched Tennessee last year, I thought they had a really good season, but I didn't think it was because of Nico.
If I'm with you. If he hit the portal, I'm not sure I'd want my team to take him.
Who, Nico?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't excite me.
Yeah, because he's got more question marks than he has answers.
I mean, to me, it was Dylan Sampson. It was that defense.
Yeah.
Okay, the other story, more concerning to me, and it's from USA Today where I read it, but a lot of people are talking about it. The show being brought to you by our friends at Image Craft. Brownie?
They want you to print more and spend less. They're at Image Craft. They know how it can stack up when you start printing. If you're especially one of those businesses that prints a lot, like tax offices this time of year, schools, pharmacies, things of that nature, they know that the printer and copier supplies start to get expensive. So they've got all the major brands at a reduced price. HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. They offer free same-day delivery on all in-stock items in the Metro Birmingham area, free shipping outside the area. And you can get it right there in the store, Gadsden Highway in Trussville, just right there down for the Pinnacle Shopping Center. That is, you walk in, you save the next round, and you save 10%. Online, TNR 10, you save 10% at imagecraft.net. Print more, spend less with ImageCraft.
Yeah, so basically, that'll be $40. Next round!
Next round! Oh, okay, that'll be $36.
$36.
Yeah.
Very good.
Look at our math, Jim.
Also, our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. I went 40 for a reason, Brownie.
Thank you.
Urology Centers of Alabama, 16 location, helping you stay on top of your health. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies, anything that involves your urological tract, they will help stay on top of that. Early detection can save your life from 20s to the grave, everywhere in between. They'll take care of you. 16 locations, 35 urologists. Find one near you, urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com. This one's a bigger story to me. DJ Lagway at Florida. Matt Hayes, USA Today, writing the story I read. DJ Lagway, shoulder injury and a lower body injury that Matt reports is a core injury, according to sources inside the Florida program telling Matt Hayes. The shoulder injury at some point will require surgery, but the family chose to try to rest the shoulder to avoid the surgery, so he's not throwing. Likely is not going to throw for 6 months between the last game he played and before he gets cleared to throw again. And they're going to see how that works out. Now, Billy Napier is calling it a holistic approach to him just being a healthier person, da-da-da-da-da-da. But the concern is that DJ Lagway will either be playing with some kind of a lesser arm strength or at some point will need a shoulder surgery that will shut him down for 2025.
Wow. Yeah, this is a major story because I don't know what you've got behind him. Remember last year it was Graham Mertz who had a really surprising 23 season, but Mertz ran out of eligibility after 6 years, 4 at Wisconsin and 2 at Florida. Yeah. So I don't even know what they've got behind Lagway. Lagway was supposed to be that guy that really gave him a spark in November last year. The numbers weren't great, but you could see, like, this guy's special.
6 games he started and threw for almost 2,000 yards in 6 games. So if you'd have done that over 12, that's almost 4,000 yards.
Yeah, turned it over a lot, though.
Yeah, he had 9 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. So the
12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
Oh, I thought it was the other way.
No, still 1-1.
Either way, it's not great.
Not great. Yeah. But, I mean, he looked. So that's the difference. Like, watching Nico, they were winning games. Watching DJ, he just seemed like, as DJ went, that offense kind of went.
Yeah.
With all that said, I mean, that is not good for Billy Napier. Again, they've got a brutal schedule. he begins the year on the hottest of hot seats. And if you're Lagway, like if I'm his family, I'm more concerned about what it's going to be long term for him.
Yeah. They say, according to Matt's story at USA Today, and he also writes for Saturday Down South, that after the 2025 season, he will have the surgery.
So the surgery's not a question. It's just when.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they must feel like he can go out and be 85, 90%, because if not, they should have shut him down at the end of last season and taken this year off.
Your backup, I believe, is Harrison Bailey, looking at their roster. It is?
It is. Former Tennessee quarterback.
Yeah, Tennessee and other places. Yeah. He's bounced around a lot.
That's what Matt says. They said, the Florida public front of this is it is not as big a deal as maybe you're making it out to be.
Now
Matt Hayes says, watch the spring portal, and if they go get a quarterback,
you'll know.
That tells you there is concern about whether DJ Lagway can play the season.
Now, this is the ultimate PR play from Billy Napier, but if you're Napier, you tell him to shut it down at the end of last season, knowing what the schedule is coming.
Yeah.
And if you could navigate a 6-6 with Florida fans seeing how good Lagway was, knowing he's going to come back fully healthy, because now if you bring Lagway back and you go 6-6, and then you got to shut him down at the end of the season, it's just going to be a different look altogether.
Anytime I hear quarterback shoulder on his throwing shoulder, I go back to Drew Brees one year where he played the second half of the season with the Saints, and he couldn't throw the ball deep because he had something in his shoulder. And it was all short passes. The arm strength wasn't the same, and they got picked apart.
Yeah, who was the backup they would bring in to throw the deep ball? They brought a backup in, didn't they, to throw the deep ball?
Was it Jameis Winston?
I don't think Winston was the backup yet, but I think there was a backup they had to bring in.
My point being that if Lagway has no zip on the ball, how good can he even be out there? He's going to hurt his draft stock. He's going to hurt Billy Napier's chance of keeping his job, Florida's chances of living up to expectations. Those two stories are big. To me, the bigger one is the DJ Lagway story.
Yeah.
Nico, they'll work out the money.
Yeah.
Eventually, they'll work out the money.
Even
if he's worth it. I
mean,
look, Tennessee knows this. I mean, if it gets to a point where it's not worth it, then that will say a lot about Nico.
Yeah.
I'd rather have to work out money than have to survive a shoulder injury, for sure.
All right, Todd Fuhrman coming up on the other side. The show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them, our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. There is nobody in the business better than Greg from Pell City. A good father, husband, businessman, locally owned for over 20 years is Storm Restoration Roofing. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Full roof replacements, roofing repairs, but he gives you that free, no-cost roof inspection. Absolutely free, no obligation. He'll come out there. We've had viewers and listeners tell us that Greg showed up, got on the roof, came down and said, man, you're good for another 3 or 4 years. And they would write us, they're like, Jim, I thought I was really calling Greg to give me a roof replacement. He said I could hold on for 2 or 3 more years. That's the kind of honest truth you get on that free, no-cost roof inspection. He's got his builder's license, so he can do storm damage repairs for you and other roof repairs that he can work on for you. He knows the insurance game inside and out. Friends with the providers. He can help you navigate that. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. And also our friends with the Birmingham Stallions. Tonight's a big night.
It is. UFL back in Birmingham tonight as the Stallions are in action. Fireworks after the game, which kicks at 7. So let's go Pack Protective. The 3-time champions back home tonight, 7 o'clock. Tickets at UFLStallions.com. UFLStallions.com. Enjoy the game, enjoy the fireworks, and welcome the Stallions back to Birmingham. UFLStallions.com. Todd Fuhrman is next.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Super Speedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Super Speedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Don't miss the action. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now, code NEXTROUND, and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
We love the moments, the memories, the magic, the championships. So let's get more victories, more celebration.
He's got a chance. He won't be caught.
More unforgettable. More football. More of what you love.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park May 2nd through 4th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Experience 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, Ferris wheel, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, top of the hour, hour number 2 now. In the first hour, we talked SEC quarterback question marks and the Masters, of course. Don't forget NASCAR coming back to Talladega. We're about to talk a little baseball, little Masters with our buddy Todd Fuhrman.
Yeah, NASCAR is back at Talladega. The Jack Links 500 weekend, April 25th through 27th. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com for tickets. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. The Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend, April 25th through 27th. Reserve your spot now. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. That is TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. If you have never been, I cannot urge you enough to go. It is such a blast. And Todd Fuhrman, our next guest, BetTheBoardPodcast.com, is going to come 1 year and go to this race with us. We've invited him many times. We've never been able to work it out. But, Fuhrman, you will do that 1 year with us, I hope.
We will definitely make it happen, hopefully sooner rather than later, although according to Dunaway, I will officially be a changed man if I spend a night, let alone 2, on Talladega Boulevard. And I'm not quite sure at this advanced age I'm ready for some of those sights and sounds.
Yeah, safety in numbers, Fuhrman.
Yeah. But do wear a shirt that you can easily lift up.
I mean, look, I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time in the gym with some upper body workouts. I'll have to pump up my arms a little bit. because I'm going to go jean shorts and or tank top or shirts optional, I'll need to make sure my tan lines are befitting of how everyone should look at Talladega for race weekend.
Hey, Fuhrman, before we get into Masters and some of these matchups and who's going to ultimately win this thing, I wanted to ask you about the NBA because, I keep up with all my numbers. NFL, in the positive, in the black. Same with college football this year. College basketball, we ended up winning. Major League Baseball, we're over 60% to start the season. But the NBA has just been a bear, man. I don't know if you guys have struggled with it this year, but for whatever reason, it's just it has been really difficult to be consistent right now in the NBA.
So I applaud your perseverance when it comes to handicapping the NBA on a night-in, night-out basis, especially during the course of the regular season. I've made a grand total of 1 NBA bet so far this season, LT. For me, once the calendar flips to the play-in tournament next week and, of course, the playoffs, it gets a little bit easier to try and wrap your head around some of those situational opportunities that avail themselves. Sure, the numbers are going to be a lot more efficient than what they are during the regular season, but trying to anticipate who's going to be in a lineup versus out of a lineup, which teams will actually care. And the one thing I will say about the NBA market is from a situational standpoint, teams playing 4 games in 6 nights, you're now being forced to pay a premium to go against some of those sides. So the one situation, though, that has held true, and I would encourage folks to bet the NBA, whether it's casually or a little bit more seriously, when the schedule gets released going into next year, try and identify teams that are playing those 6+ game road trips and fade them on their first date back at home. That's one system that's been tried and true over the last handful of years, decade plus, where you can consistently count on those teams being relatively flat when they return to familiar surroundings.
I just watched Justin Rose bogey a hole, pushed a putt right. I don't know if you know the history, but if I decided to jump on Rose yesterday 3 strokes ahead as the first-round leader, is that throwing money away, first-round leader, throwing money at him all of a sudden to win the Masters?
It's always interesting, Dunaway, because this is a course that we know isn't built for players to basically go low. You'll have some scoring opportunities on the par 5, but patience really becomes a virtue. So trying to erase that deficit, you definitely need a player or two to come back to the field. But I think when you look at Justin Rose, who was 3 strokes clear, I believe it was the 5th time he's had a lead after the first round, or at least a partial share, and yet he's listed much further down the odds board. Part of it contributes to the fact that he's got some of the best golfers in the world that are chasing him, whether it's Ludwig Aubert, who was one of the more popular picks from professional bettors coming in. We saw odds on Bryson really shrink leading up to yesterday's opening round. And a guy like Corey Connors, what was interesting about him, yes, his form wasn't great, but he was a guy that took a little bit of betting interest at around 90-1, closing that 65-1 range. And that, of course, is before we even mention the 800-pound gorilla in the room that seems to bring Augusta to its knees year in, year out with Scotty Scheffler, who was actually a buy at one of the sharpest sports books out here in the desert at Circa. Anytime his number got to 5, they took very respected money coming in on Scotty, even at such a short number.
Yeah, one thing you pointed out, Fuhrman, at Todd Fuhrman on social media, bettheboardpodcast.com is the site, and he's with us on the Shunnarah hotline. One thing you pointed out is the odds you can get for Corey Connors to be low American, which is that's a fascinating bet to
news. That's news to me. If Corey Connors is declared the low-scoring American brownie, I think we have a much bigger geopolitical storyline that's going to unfold over the next 72 hours. So that was a particular sports book that I'm not sure is being all that transparent with some of its players that are out there. If you want to bet Corey Connors in terms of in-play odds to be the lowest scoring Canadian, which makes a little bit more sense, you do have to put up right around $4.50 just to make $1 coming back.
Somewhere President Trump was saying, I told you. Yeah. I told you.
I would wait for the White House briefing today first, Fuhrman, before I started banging my chest.
They might be ahead of the game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. We have a little bit of a tip.
Do you enjoy more playing for, who's actually going to win this, or do you like the match play day to day?
You know, what I found within a much more expansive top 5, top 10, top 20 market, that's actually where I've spent more time trying to identify some opportunity and upside, not just for the majors, but also when it comes to some of the secondary tournaments that are out there. Now, the nice part about a tournament of this magnitude is limits really don't come into play, so it's a lot easier for us to move a little bit more money into the betting market than what you could for, say, the John Deere later in the season, the Valero Texas Open. The list goes on and on. The one thing I will say, Matchups used to be the gravy train in golf. And about 3 or 4 years ago, we were able to pick those apart and exploit, 25 to 30 cent edges at minimum. But I have to give odds makers credit in the day and age we live in. Those numbers are a lot more efficient than what they've been in the past. And I think the other thing that's really changed some of that dynamic as well, LT, sportsbooks are offering much different matchups. So if you go to mybookie.ag, you go to DraftKings, you go to FanDuel, you don't necessarily have the same list of 50 cookie cutter matchups that we used to in the past. So it's really changed some of the dynamic there. And it's something that works in favor of the odds maker more so than the player who really wants to load up on a guy that may be overvalued or in some cases undervalued as well.
The UFL is in its season now. The Stallions, who have won 3 straight championships, they have their home opener tonight. And I was wondering, have you learned enough to where you enjoy betting these games at all? Because I'm looking at the Stallions minus 4.5 tonight, but the total is 38.5. And if you're selling an exciting entertainment package of great spring football, a total of 38.5 doesn't excite me a ton. And as the layman, I'm thinking, I got to pound the over there. Makes me think maybe that's an underplay tonight. Not a lot of scoring at Protective Stadium. Are you in on the UFL this year?
I am not. When it comes to football, I spend most of the spring trying to break down a lot of my college numbers. I know you guys were talking about some of the storylines coming out of spring ball. And given the fact that win totals for college football keep coming up earlier and earlier, it makes things a little bit more challenging. But Dunaway, I can't believe you would cast such disparaging remarks at the UFL when folks were treated to a glorious 11-9 game last weekend between the Renegades and Roughnecks. This spring football, you don't want to disparage it because I think it's a great vehicle for players to try and get a little bit more access and for some of the markets, especially like Birmingham, to take center stage. You just begin to worry about some of the quarterback play that's there. And if you can't put up some of those crooked score lines, you mentioned the total at 39. It's a far cry from the 35.5 that we're going to see between Houston and Memphis later this week. So if people are tuning in an off season to watch football, the last thing, in my opinion, they want to watch are the first team to 15 to try and win a football game. So we'll see if it continues to stick, but we know Birmingham has kind of become the gold standard. And there's a reason why, they're 4-point favorites tonight against Arlington.
Do you have off the top of your head NFL win totals? I was going to ask you about Pittsburgh specifically. I don't know if you have those in front of you off the top of your head.
I've looked briefly through some of them, and I know the Steelers always become the more polarizing one because we know the narrative that will get circulated about Mike Tomlin never having a losing season. And I think odds makers have kind of thrown their hands up with the Steelers, trying to figure out if it's going to be Aaron Rodgers or if the Steelers are really serious about going into battle with Mason Rudolph at QB1. And their win total sits at 8.5. Shaded to the under. Spoke to a lot of guys going into last year that wanted to bet the Steelers under. I've kind of learned my lesson. So it's more a wait-and-see type approach with their number hovering right around 500.
And that was the question I was going to ask. Are odds makers in Vegas, do you think, baking in Aaron Rodgers or wait and see on Aaron Rodgers? So you say right now they're wait and see on Aaron Rodgers.
In my opinion, this is a number that suggests that Aaron Rodgers is about a 65% possibility to be the starting quarterback for the Steelers, because I'm not sure I'm running to the window to make a case for this Steelers team to go 9-8 if it's Mason Rudolph. I'm just a little bit disappointed that with the Cleveland Browns signing Joe Flacco earlier today, that we can't get a game the first Thursday night of the NFL season. Not, of course, when the Super Bowl champion plays, but that first Thursday night on Amazon, where we get the Steelers on one side with Mason Rudolph under center, and the potential that did exist probably up till today that the Cleveland Browns would go into week 1 with Kenny Pickett as their starter as they try and do everything they can to go 2-15 and give themselves to draft a franchise quarterback next year.
Fuhrman, sticking with win totals, we got into the SEC yesterday, and there is not one team that has higher than 9.5 wins. And, there was a good 5 to 10 years where Georgia or Alabama was 10.5 or 11 every single year. Are you a little surprised that you don't have 1 out of 16 teams that has double-digit wins this year?
I think part of it is what we saw last year with a little bit more parity in the league. And quite frankly, we saw teams, not really play with that level of desperation now with the expanded college football playoff footprint that it's just getting in. So if you have a luxury late in the year to potentially rest players or something else along those lines. I think it's something that these SEC coaches really have to consider. And it's also the other concern that when we look at these rosters from top to bottom with the transfer portal, there, in my opinion, isn't nearly as much depth on these teams as what we saw during Alabama's glory years and Georgia as well. I will say one thing, guys. I did actually make my first bet on the college football season yesterday, and it was a long shot price of sorts on a team to win the national championship. And it wasn't from the SEC. Bought a little bit of Clemson at 25-1. I think their road in the ACC is extremely favorable. And when you look at the way that Cade Klubnik played down the stretch, a slightly improved defense, I think Clemson, in my opinion, should be a formality to get into the tournament. And if they're able to finish in one of those top 4 spots, it'll be a ticket that I have the chance to earn off of as we get into the middle of December.
And they added Tom Allen as a coordinator there, too. So that's
it definitely doesn't hurt, Dunaway. You're exactly right.
Yeah, I love it when you agree with me. Do you have a favorite in the SEC? Like if you had to bet
You know what? Hold on a second. I'm looking at these markets to try and see if I can dump my Clemson ticket inside of 24 hours after purchasing it. But go ahead. I cut you off.
No, I was going to ask. We showed the updated win totals yesterday, and I was wondering if you had a favorite in the SEC on a win total. Nobody's got a 10. The highest is 9.5. I didn't know if you had an under Tennessee you like or something like that that's out there. Not trying to push you into under Tennessee on the heels of this Nico story, but do you like under Tennessee? No, do you have a favorite?
No, I actually don't. I have to do a little bit more of a deep dive. And for win totals, tying up my money this far, for me to get involved now, win total has to be off 2 upwards of 3 games. 2 win totals, though, elsewhere in the country that I can share with you that have taken professional money, both unders. No surprise there, one of which is Florida State, whose over-under sits at 7.5. A lot of skepticism from folks that Thomas Castellanos can be the quarterback that saves Mike Norvell's job, where I think you look at this Florida State roster, just getting to 6-6 should be considered a win in the wake of what was a disastrous campaign last year. And then everyone's favorite college football coach has also taken some under money. We've seen Colorado that opened 7.5, get bet down to 6.5. A lot of questions about the quarterback position, if it's Julian Lewis, if it's Caden Salter, who really struggled at Liberty down the stretch. But as far as, SEC win totals, and you mentioned the Nico story, look, you guys have a direct line to Clay Travis like I do. Apparently, Clay not ponying up the money, given the way the market's performed over the last 7 to 10 days, and that may be why Nico's looking for a better offer to take his talent somewhere else.
I like him. Pin it on Clay. Make it Clay's fault. Yeah. All right, Fuhrman, Kent State just announced they fired their football coach just now, so I know you got to go readjust your MAC total.
Well, that is some interesting timing.
Yeah.
You have to move Kent State's win total from 1.5 down to 1, but the fact that you're firing a coach for a program that has really struggled makes you wonder what kind of transgressions will come to light in terms of Coach Burns and what he was doing off the field, because we knew the on-field performance was downright horrific, so this has to be equally bad, that they didn't want to part ways with them in the wake of what we saw on the field. That something just came to light recently.
Yeah, 1-23, in case you don't know what Fuhrman's talking about. That's his record through 24 games. 1-23.
Not good, boys. Not good last I checked.
He got fired for something off the field. So,
well, take the job if you're an up-and-comer, because there's job security, right?
It can only go up. Fuhrman, thank you very much for the time. Have a great weekend.
Hey, always a pleasure. But just remind whoever's interested in that Kent State job, Julian Edelman and Joshua Cribbs not walking through that door anytime soon.
It's unfortunate for that. It's Nick Saban's alma mater, is it not, Kent State?
Yeah.
I think
he'll take it.
No, I think he ought to go back. Give one back to the old alma mater.
I will have them winning the MAC next year.
If Saban took the job, what would you put the win total this year?
I'd have to look at Kent's schedule, but I figure they could run the table in the MAC. So, I mean, you got to make their win total 7.5 minimum. And I'd be running to the window to try and bet long shot pricing, because there would be somebody in the portal that would love to go play for Nick and take part in the good old wagon wheel rivalry that everyone sets their calendar by when Kent State takes on Akron in November.
It's November when that happens. Thank you, Fuhrman. Have a good weekend, buddy.
Always a pleasure, gents. You guys do the same and enjoy the golf.
All right, at Todd Fuhrman on social media is where you follow him. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. BetTheBoardPodcast.com to get all the games. Fuhrman with us on the Shunnarah hotline.
A quick check at the Masters leaderboard brought to you by Vulcan Tire and Automotive.
Great locations throughout Birmingham. Very important. When you go into one of those locations, mention the next round, they're going to guarantee you the best tire pricing in all of Birmingham. Make sure that vehicle is serviced bumper to bumper before you hit the road this spring. You can do it with our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. For more information, vulcantireandauto.com.
Justin Rose had bogeyed on the difficult par 4 fifth, but he's birdied the par 5 eighth to get back to 8 under. That's the biggest lead he has had, or the deepest he has been. He's got a 3-shot lead over Ludwig Goldberg, who is at 5 under, playing on the 5th himself. 4-shot lead over Bryson DeChambeau, who is playing the 4th. Corey Connors, who has yet to tee off, and Scotty Scheffler, who's just getting started.
DeChambeau just birdied.
He did just birdie to move to 5 under. You're right. He's now tied with Ludwig Goldberg.
Yeah, fantastic update brought to you by our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. May get by there today to change my oil.
You went to Lags yesterday. Might as well go to Vulcan.
Mention
today.
next round to get 15%
very important.
off.
Mention that. VulcanTireAuto.com.
Do I really need to do that? I mean, that's,
They don't know you?
No, I'm just saying it feels like, why not? I'll take advantage of the deal.
Yeah,
why would I?
The next round.
Why do you do this? You feel guilty about taking advantages of deals.
I do. I don't know why.
Have you ever used a coupon? Ever in your life used a coupon?
I have not.
Never in your life.
What about when you're given a gift card? Do you use those?
I've got one in my wallet right now that's $200 that I've had since I spoke to the
They expire,
Boundary
you know
Club breakfast last football season.
To what store?
It's just cash. It's just.
Why would you not use that?
Visa gift card.
Yeah, why would you
cash.
not use it?
I don't know how to use it. Do I just run
Yeah.
it?
It's the same thing. It's like
Yeah,
credit
it's just
cards.
like a credit card.
It's just cash.
I'll give you $100 for it right now. $100 cash.
I'll give it a shot today.
No, I'll give you $100 cash for it right
I'm
now.
gonna give it a shot today.
I'll give you $140 for it.
No, do I hear 220?
160.
Do I hear 220? The show.
Why not? I'll
If
give you
we didn't
$220.
make a big deal of this, I guarantee you would have sold it for $100.
I know. I thought about it as soon as I said it. I thought if I'd offered him $100 in the commercial break, he'd take it.
Give me that dusty old thing.
You know, there's activation fees and all that. We're taking that off.
Jim, you don't want the headache of this card. Trust me.
They call you all the time.
I mean, you guys remember that I'm the guy who bought at the start of basketball season at tip-off for Tumors. Little T directed me into the most expensive store inside of Auburn proper to buy a vest so that I wouldn't freeze on the tip-off night because it was going to dip into the low 60s, high 50s while we were there after sunset. And I bought a $450 zip jacket that doesn't even zip right. It's European, so it zips the wrong hand.
Yeah, like a woman.
And after I wore it, she's like, let's take it back. It's still open. And I said, I can't take it back. No, I've already worn it.
Little T cutting them corners.
She's like, take it back. Take it back.
Keep that tag on there.
I did this with my prom dress.
I can't take it back. New Life Art. You don't want to take any of these great pieces of work back from Daniel A. Moore. Great moments in Alabama football history. You see them on the screen there. Promo code TNR, DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com. Go and check out the works there. That includes the legend, Nick Saban. Some of those are still left. 6 national championships for Nick Saban. Remember the glory years of Alabama football when Saban was the coach there? You can celebrate that forever and ever. Big part of your life if you're a Bama fan. DanielMooreArt.com. Promo code TNR to get you the discount there. DanielMooreArt.com. And Michelson Laser Vision brings you the viewing menu today. Tell us about Michelson.
Hey, look, if you wear contacts or glasses, you've been procrastinating, thinking about getting the LASIK procedure done, stop procrastinating. Make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100. I was wasting money each and every year on the contacts and solutions. I had the 2200 vision. I had no idea I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. When I got the procedure done, I still have 20/15 vision better than 20/20. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, let's take a look at this weekend. And this year has been dog water for new movies at the theaters.
Dog water's not good.
Dog water's bad. Unless you like drinking dog water.
I'll
In
pass.
that case,
Yeah.
I won't judge you.
Hey,
But
it is amazing how many they churn out now, though. It seems like more movies, less quality.
horrible year for movies so far. However, I have some optimism for The Amateur. This is the CIA cryptographer played by Rami Malek that manages to blackmail his agency into training him to let him go after a group of terrorists who kill his wife. All that's in the trailer there. This has been the preview with the glass pool being detonated. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Obviously not.
Yeah, I've seen. I know exactly what I think. It's going to miss just a little bit.
It seems that way.
Yeah, and I'm just Rami Malek. I know he won, Best Actor for his portrayal as Freddie Mercury, and I thought he did a really good job there. There's something about him. He's just kind of creepy looking.
Yeah, it's his eyes.
He's got those Carson Beck eyes.
He's got them lemur eyes.
Him and Carson Beck had the same eyes.
I'm more excited about Warfare, though. I know Tyler brought up Warfare, but I'm more excited about, or you did yesterday.
I'm telling you, next week is the big one, Lance. Sinners. Michael B. Jordan. That's the big one. That one's going to crush.
I don't know if it is. I think it will crush with the box office. I don't know how good it's going to be.
It's going to be fantastic.
Okay.
Ryan Coogler directing. It's going to be great. Anyway.
I like the Creed franchise.
Yes, it's going to be a home run. I have a feeling about that when I'm buying up all the stock.
But I still think that Black Panther is one of the most overrated movies in cinema history.
Perfectly fair, but it was a box office draw that nobody saw coming. So, can't deny the success of it. If you like to binge an entire season of television, last night was the season finale of the first season of Max's The Pit.
Oh, so good.
Starring Noah Wiley.
So good.
It follows an ER through a shift that started at 7 in the morning with one episode covering each hour. Jack Bauer does not show up.
Yeah, I was about to say, 24 did that too.
In the 15th and final episode of the season, the shift for the crew working in a modern-day hospital in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania finally ends. It's got a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. IGN gave it a 10 out of 10, calling it a masterpiece. And I went home yesterday. My wife is a nurse. I went home yesterday. I walk in, and my wife wants nothing to do with me because she's watching The Pit, getting all caught up.
So she said it was very realistic?
She loves it.
Oh.
So
you do too?
It was. I watched it all. And I watched it when my flight got delayed in Birmingham, on my flight to Chicago, all my cancellations in O'Hare, on my flight to Cleveland.
Was it so good? You were like, "Damn, just I don't want to board right now.
Hold the flight. Hold the flight.
I'll take the next one."
Bethany knocked it out in 2 days, I think.
So then I didn't watch it while I was in Cleveland. Then on the waiting for the flight to go to Newark, in the air in Newark. Didn't watch it in Newark, then on the flight back. So the only episode I watched that was not in an airport or on an airplane was last night, where I got home and Maggie was just starting it. And I was like, is that the finale?
Thought you were going to wait on me.
And no, we had watched it separately. And she's like, yeah. And I go, how far into it? And she goes, it's the first scene, 3 minutes in. And I said, rewind that thing. Catch me up on the last one. Let me get a glass of wine. And I sat down, and one bottle later, I'm in tears.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
So there's 24 episodes?
15.
No.
15.
15. Oh, so it's a 15-hour shift.
15 is a lot of episodes, though.
15-hour shift. It's 1 hour shift.
Okay.
Well, you know what's
one shift, 1 hour episode.
What is premiering Sunday?
What is premiering
Season
Sunday?
2 of The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
I thought The Last of Us was fantastic.
You lied to me. I thought it was season 3.
No, it's season 2.
It's season 2. There were some awesome episodes in season 1 for sure. Standout episodes. The Nick Offerman episode I thought was really well done.
It was great. I did hear that much like Game of Thrones don't get too attached to characters, that this does closely resemble how the video game played out. I've never played the video game.
So the second video game in the series was very divisive, and it made fans really have to pick a side of whether or not they were going to remain fans. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate those tricky waters, knowing what the reception is already. It's kind of Game of Thrones style of what will they change, what will they keep, and that sort of thing. But
I do hope they don't get too political with this thing.
We shall see.
That is good. One more.
I have one more,
okay.
And this is WrestleMania 9 becoming a spectacle. It's on Peacock, following the making of the Las Vegas WrestleMania in 1993. From the chaos outside Caesar's Palace to the action inside the ring, the documentary pulls back the curtain on the world's largest toga party with an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the event. The documentary premieres today exclusively on Peacock, ahead of WrestleMania 41, which is also set in Las Vegas. WrestleMania 41 is coming up the 19th and 20th of this month.
Interesting.
Wow, full circle then.
Let me bring one thing up because you love James Bond. I ran across this last night. There's a series, it's a documentary called Icon. Have you ever seen this?
Potentially.
And so they've got one on James Bond. I know they've got one on Star Trek, but it's a full season. So it's like 8 episodes on James Bond and how, Ian Fleming actually, he was in espionage. He wrote for a newspaper about it. He started writing the Bond. It starts with how Bond was created, how they cast it, the different guys, from Sean Connery to Roger Moore. It's the history of James Bond in 8 episodes, but they do it for Star Trek, Star Wars.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's well done. I mean, I watched one episode of the Bond, and I liked it a lot.
See, instead of watching all the Bond movies,
you could do that.
You just watch that and you feel like you've done it.
But the first guy, George Lazarus or whatever.
Lazenby, right?
Lazenby,
yeah.
He was talking about
pull, Brown.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was nice. You haven't seen Jurassic Park, but you know George Lazenby.
George Lazenby, yeah.
But
Nice.
he's talking about, I slept with every woman on that set.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, George.
Nothing else needs to be said.
The show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One more thing to get to in this segment, though, but tell us about the Indy Grand Prix coming back to town. Always one of my favorite events that puts Birmingham on the map.
Yes, it does. The Indy Grand Prix will be back at Barber Motorsports Park. It is always, as Jim said, a fun time. The road to the Indy 500 Runs through Birmingham May 2nd through the 4th. Fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, O'Ward, Dixon, and Newgarden, put their skills to a test. With one goal in mind, victory. Miss America, Abby Stockard, will give the most iconic command in all of racing as the Grand Marshal. May starts here. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. Tickets selling fast. Get yours today, IndyAlabama.com, IndyAlabama.com.
Hey, if you're starting to thin out and you're starting to lose that hair a little bit, you're concerned. You could be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It happens all over the place. You never know when it's going to happen. It started to happen to me a few years ago when we started this venture. I asked around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name everyone recommended for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B and that great staff today, 205-319-0316. T3 has that new test, so easy, painless, affordable, takes seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing your hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B and that great staff. Find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, t3hair.net.
Okay, we got developing story on the Tennessee quarterback situation. It is huge. That's in the next segment coming up to start it. It is a developing story from Chris Lowe, who is very tied into the program. Stand by for that. Braves win last night. Austin Riley tied it up, and then Marcell Ozuna hits the home run in the 11th to walk it off. Braves win the series with the Phillies. Spencer Strider had a massive rehab performance. He's expected back with the Braves next week. They play Tampa in Tampa this weekend. Keep an eye on Casey Mize of the Detroit Tigers, former Auburn pitcher, Springville High School star. He's off to a 2-0 start with a 0.77 ERA, 12 strikeouts in 2 outings, averaging basically 9 strikeouts, a strikeout per inning. He's pitched 2 games, 2 quality starts, 2 6-inning outings, 12 strikeouts. The whip is low. He pitches at the Twins on Sunday. He's off to a Cy Young-like start. Casey Mize there. When we come back, developing story in college football brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. It is springtime, time for that spring checkup with our friends at Hemphill.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Right now, $1,000 off that new HVAC 0% financing. Make sure you call our friends at Hemphill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
If you are a business that does a lot of printing, like a car dealership, mortgage company, real estate office, tax office, bank, school, or university, print more and spend less with ImageCraft. ImageCraft is located at 1151 Gadsden Highway in Trussville, just down from the Pinnacle Shopping Center, and online at imagecraft.net. They carry all the major brands like HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. Shop in-store, mention TNR for a 10% discount. Shop online at imagecraft.net with coupon code TNR10. ImageCraft. Print more, spend less.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, May 2nd through the 4th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, O'Ward, Dixon, and Newgarden will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness Miss America Abby Stockard give the most iconic command in all of racing as the Grand Marshal. May starts here. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours today.
What a great time of year to be online with our friends at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag, where right now you get a major current sign-up bonus, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip when using the code NEXTROUND. That's code NEXTROUND. We're talking about all the madness of March, the NBA playoff race, the start of Major League Baseball, and it's all for you right now online when using the code NEXTROUND. Go sign up today, mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Superspeedway is ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to this track, you've got to come check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway. It's April 25th through the 27th, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the next round. The developing news will be our spotlight. Let's do our Shunnarah spotlight. We'll just make this breaking news. Our spotlight today brought to you by Alexander Shunnarah. Hit it, Timmy.
The College Football Spotlight.
Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, our guy Alexander Shunnarah, a national firm with southern roots in Birmingham, 24 years. The firm has grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. The elite trial lawyers there have recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. And you will find yourself perhaps in need of a lawyer. You need to call Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case.
Tennessee, this is from Chris Lowe of ESPN. We told you the Pete Nakos report yesterday, and then the agent and family said Nakos that was incorrect. Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava, amid reports that he wanted to renegotiate his NIL deal, did not show up at Friday morning's practice, sources tell ESPN, and it was a surprise to Tennessee's staff members and players. Nico's reps denied Thursday there was any renegotiations talk going on. And Brown brought it up when we brought it up that the dad says, hey, it's not true. And Nakos had said, I trust this source with my life. Practice today, the quarterback is not there.
Well, look, I believe Chris Lowe. He is one of the most accurate reporters out there. He was the first to drop the Nick Saban story. We remember that. Speaking of Nick Saban, this is why he's no longer coaching. Situations like that. This shows you the players have all of the power, 100%. When you have a starting quarterback, again, that didn't blow anybody away, 1 300-yard passing career game, and this guy is, it looks to be, holding this team possibly hostage.
Yeah, first three responses underneath from the Chris Lowe story, and I checked their bylines. They're all Tennessee fans. Hazelwood, let him walk. This show needs to end. Keith, what a blank. Let him walk. And then it just continues.
I
let
said,
him go.
Hey, kick rocks if you've got somebody that is somewhat close.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to have a disaster situation. You don't want to have the, I hate to bring him up by name, but Brandon Avalos, remember when he got the start against Georgia?
And that was because of injury on top of injury, right?
But if you don't have depth in the quarterback room, which I would assume that Josh Heupel does by now, but You brought up who was the backup quarterback right
That
now?
was in Florida. That was Harrison Bailey, the former Tennessee quarterback. See, so here's the thing. Like, if you're the dad and you're going to do this guy's a B word and none of this is true.
Right.
You make sure your son knows, with all this out there, if you got to miss practice, make sure the coaches know.
That's right.
I mean, don't miss practice or something like that, and don't give somebody a heads up because you know what it's going to look like, right? I mean, if you want to sell me that this narrative isn't a true narrative, this is all being blown out of proportion, the one way you don't sell me on that is miss practice and not give my coaches a heads up.
I don't even like when, and I understand it, the NFL, and I guess we've got to kind of start to process this and understand it at this level. But when guys hold out in training camp at the NFL level, I don't like it.
I don't either, and I'm with you. If there's ever a situation where my team could just let him go, I'm always in favor of let him go. I want to roll with the people that want to be there.
Yeah.
And
man,
I think if I was a Tennessee fan, I just don't know how good he is. I think I would rather roll the dice.
So can you imagine the leverage a guy like Cam Ward would have had? I mean, we remember Miami living like, a cat with 9 lives, coming back every single week, and it ultimately burned them. But Cam Ward was out there, like, doing amazing things. And one of the reasons he's going to go number 1 overall to Tennessee, this isn't the situation with Nico. And maybe he's got incredible upside. I mean, he is 6'6". That's something you can't coach. He's got a live arm, but I just haven't seen enough that he could hold an entire program like Tennessee potentially hostage for millions more on top of what he's already getting.
Yeah, I would say, Carson Beck may be open for negotiation, but I saw last night on TikTok he and his girl are still together.
Really? He's back with the Cavender?
Yeah, they were dancing in the kitchen together on
good for
TikTok
them.
last night. So
love does not die.
So Miami football is in good hands right now.
Yes.
There are certain programs that I guess we're not going to settle the quarterback competitions here in the spring, but is Ty Simpson not from Tennessee? Isn't that where his dad coaches high school?
Yeah, his dad coaches college, Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, Tennessee Tech, somewhere there. Okay. So I'm just
UT
saying.
UT Martin. I think
there are some quarterback battles that are going on that whoever doesn't win that one, there may be somebody available in the portal. Now, you may be battling Florida, who's now got a bum shoulder quarterback for a guy.
That's true.
There may be.
I really would almost rather have the unlimited eligibility. Like a guy like Hendon Hooker was so good in this system. Like if you're a Tennessee fan, let's keep this guy until he's 30.
Did they not sign? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I would rather have that situation than a guy like Nico, doing everything he can to get more money from the program.
Did they not sign the next great quarterback in the last signing class?
They probably did.
Check Tennessee for me there.
I'm a little surprised that those Tennessee fans didn't say, let's go on and bring on whoever that is.
While he's looking that up, that's our Shunnarah Spotlight show today, also being brought to you by our friends at Odie's LT, where I saw yesterday, or actually it was 2 days ago, they rolled the sod out.
The sod will be at both locations, the original and Crestline. Newest location in Homewood, right there in Edgewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. If you're a big fan of the Masters, who isn't? You can get in there, knock off work early. They're going to be opening in 18 minutes. You can have cold beer sitting right there, those Bud Lights right in front of you, watching all of the Masters action all weekend long. And when the Masters ends, guess what? Great dinner from Rodney Davis, and then live music every Friday and Saturday from our friends right there at Odie's Tavern, 2 locations, Birmingham Institution. Get in and see Will Haver and that great staff.
George McIntyre, is that the kid you're talking about?
I don't know.
That was who they signed.
I just remember
the kid out of Brentwood.
A 4 or 5-star quarterback.
That is him.
He's 4-star. I mean, that's far from.
I wonder, is he on campus? Do you know? Is there a way of knowing?
I could. He's enrolled. Yeah, it says he's enrolled.
Don't think you want to put everything in his hands right now.
Well, I was going to say. I mean, if it were. I'm kind of with Lance. I still don't know that we know what we're going to get out of Arch Manning. But if it were an Arch Manning-like situation, okay, maybe I do this. George McIntyre is not that type of situation now. He could be a better quarterback than Arch Manning. I do not know. We haven't seen it. Yeah. But I don't. Bryce Young would be a better example, okay? I think everybody at Alabama felt confident Bryce Young could have played, but they also thought Mac Jones was really good and they weren't going to lose Bryce Young. But when you saw Bryce Young, you're like, yeah, that kid could have played last year too.
It would be fascinating to have a truthful conversation with Heupel, like really what's going on, what he really believes the upside for Nico is, And how much is he worth? Is it going to get to a point, and this is going to happen, I'm not saying it happens in Tennessee, it will happen sooner than later, where somebody will let a starting quarterback walk because they don't have the NIL. They're just like, hey, we don't have that number.
Or you're exceeded our number, and we're more comfortable going with our backup. Not that either one of these would happen, but we're at a situation where Auburn and Alabama signed two of the best quarterbacks in college football, and they're both prospective backups this year.
Yeah.
I mean, we're how close are we to the point where the big signee goes through spring football, is projected to be the backup for a whole season, hits this open spring portal after that?
Oh, you know somebody like for Deuce or Russell, they make that call. Hey, look, I heard you were paying Nico. You know, he wants 4. You were going to pay him 3. We'll take 2.7. We'll send our guy right over.
Don't you think Heupel has gained the capital, though, to tell the kid to pound sand?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Playoff team last year.
Now, like Napier
I give Heupel much more credit last year than I do Nico.
Yeah, it's in different situations, obviously, but Napier are different, deals. But Napier's doesn't have that luxury. Like, I mean, he probably is hoping DJ Lagway does everything he can to play. But, I mean, Heupel could tell this guy to, as you said, to pound rocks, and or pound sand, kick rocks, whichever one it is. And if he if he has an 8-4 season, the fans will get a little bit upset. But I think your normal fan will understand what happened.
Yeah, here comes another problem. You talk about that 8-4 season. Let's say that Nico gets what he wants, and then he comes back and he underperforms. Can you imagine how critical? Yeah, Tennessee fans, and rightfully so.
Oh yeah, because used to you don't boo the college kids, and then fans would boo, and we were booing the coaches, we weren't booing the kids. Like, yeah, right.
Well, now that son of a bitch, I gave him $50 of my money to the NIL.
If the kid's making $2 or $3 million, boo right away.
Yeah, my youngest kid can't come to the game with me because I gave it to Nico.
Yeah, all right, that's the developing story. We'll keep an eye on that. Pete Thamel backing up from his sources what Chris Lowe has said from his sources to what Pete Nakos had said from his sources. But the big storyline now is Nico wasn't at practice today, and it surprised the coaches and his teammates. It's as Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network puts it, it's a hold-in, not a holdout. I guess technically it's a holdout now if he's not showing up at practice.
He's out.
Hey, let's do our 4 downs today. It is brought to you by our friends at Bojangles.
That's right. When you're thinking about breakfast, you no longer have to pick between sweet or savory. You can have both. The Bojangles Cajun chicken filet, drizzled with bowberry glaze and sandwiched between warm waffles, available for a limited time. It's bow time. My mom texted me watching the show over in Jacksonville. Thanks, Mom and Dad. She says, Bojangles has strawberry cobbler. You should really mention it in your commercials. Warm biscuit, topped with strawberries, topped with a drizzle of icing. That does sound incredible.
We could have Miss Vicky's pecan pie at Bojangles.
We could. She can make them. It's bow time at Bojangles.
First down.
Okay, I want to make you guys think. I had to do deep dives on this. There were no good celebrity birthdays.
That means a bad birthday.
It was the first time there was like 40 celebrity birthdays. I knew one name. It was some ex-model. I think she was one of the SI swimsuit girls. I did not know anybody else in celebrity birthdays.
Oh, no.
Not one.
What a terrible day.
So on this date, 2010, we were doing a show together, by the way, our first Masters. Phil Mickelson won his 3rd green jacket. Better career, Phil Mickelson or Phil Jackson?
You discount Phil Jackson's accomplishments.
I think where he's most accomplished to me is the fact that he could balance really big personalities.
Yep.
So for him to be able to manage personalities like that, a lot of people can't manage personalities. He did it as good as anyone. I'm just saying anybody would have won championships with the rosters he had. To me, Phil is more self-made.
Right.
And Phil battled a lot of struggles, and still after – a lot of golfers will tap out when they have that mental hurdle that they can't get past. Phil was able to pound past that.
But can I say the same of Pat Riley? Anybody would have won the Showtime Lakers. I mean, my God, he had James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson. Who's not going to win with that team, right?
I mean,
it's Hall of Famers.
I always picture the coaches being part of getting that roster together when it's all said and done. And I think the triangle offense with Michael Jordan helped. I'm going to go Phil Mickelson. I know it's not popular. I love him, and one of my favorite golfers of all time. But I'm going to say Phil Jackson.
Wow. I would go Phil Mickelson.
Phil Mickelson.
How many majors?
I think Mickelson has got 7. Yeah. He's won 3 Masters, 2 PGAs.
No U.S.
A
Opens.
British, no U.S. The U.S. is what's keeping him from the career Grand Slam, so it might just be 6. But that probably makes you a top 10 golfer of all time, all things considered.
Now,
So-
Phil is obviously a top 10 coach of all time. Most people would have him
no doubt about
number
that.
2.
Yeah, I think I'd go Phil Jackson as well.
Second down.
Number 2 behind who?
Red Auerbach?
Yeah, Auerbach. Yeah.
Phil Jackson's better than Red Auerbach. Talking about having the best players.
Look, I know. I'm just saying what most people say. I don't know. Popovich is a guy, and he obviously. I mean, all these guys that win have great players,
I know,
right?
you don't win without great
By
players.
the way, you want to see an amazing TikTok video? It's one of those instructional videos they used to record back in the 60s and 70s. Red Auerbach doing a demonstration with Pete Maravich on how to increase your hand-eye coordination and speed of hands in basketball. It's one of the most amazing TikTok videos I've ever stumbled across. I saw it last night or this morning whenever I was looking at my TikTok. And it was unbelievable, the speed on the 2 drills of the Pete Maravich hand coordination that he was doing with the basketball. It was unbelievable.
Well, that's why, I mean, it's one of the reasons Pete was so good. Everybody talks about his ability to shoot, but his handle was crazy.
Oh, dude, these 2 drills, it would blow your mind.
Let's go with this one. On this date, 1961, Bob Dylan makes first public appearance ever, Greenwich Village. What is one solo act you guys have never understood?
I mean, everybody says Bob Dylan writes great songs. I don't really listen for lyrics, so that doesn't appeal to me. He can't sing to save his life, so I don't really understand that one.
I love lyrics. So Willie Nelson, who can't sing, I love his lyrics.
Willie can't sing either.
Yeah. Taylor Swift, not a good vocalist. Love her lyrics. So I like lyrics. I like Dylan's lyrics. The one that I've never understood, to me, was Frank Sinatra. I mean, the guy was
right place, right time for you.
Right,
Yeah.
and I've seen his statue now in Hoboken. I've taken my picture standing next to it, but to me, he was just an average singer. I don't understand why the fascination with Frank Sinatra.
I think Frank Sinatra was a pretty good singer. I mean, not my type of music.
Melton is just staring a hole through you.
Well, I remember asking E.G. one time who's the greatest male vocalist of all time, and she said Frank Sinatra, and I was kind of shocked by that.
So you don't like him either?
No, I like Frank Sinatra. I just don't consider him. I consider him to be more shticky than just this outstanding vocalist.
And that's 100%. He's just
But when
an
he walks in the
entertainer.
room,
But that's going to be all your country singers. I mean, they
Frank
can't
Sinatra.
sing.
That's not true. It's not true.
For years,
that's all he ever does to country music. Oh, the songs are terrible and they can't sing.
No,
it's the
I'm
dumbest thing you say.
No, it's a lot
And
of
you
those
like
guys.
rap. Nobody even sings in
A
rap.
lot
Rap
of those
is,
guys don't have. I mean, how many times do you see country artists do national anthems?
Chris Stapleton did one of the best of all time.
I mean, there are outliers. Chris Stapleton is unbelievable singer.
I think that's because, I mean, how often do rap guys do national anthems? Are they not talented? They never do them.
No, well,
Carrie Underwood.
they're not great singers. I'll give
Carrie
you that.
Underwood did "America the Beautiful" without headphone
Acapella.
speakers.
Yeah, but they told her she had to have a 3-inch inseam or shorter to do it.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. Is that a problem?
I don't know what my solo act is. I really like Amy Winehouse. I never really understood that one. It's a very good documentary.
mine's Madonna. I've just never been a Madonna fan.
I'm not crazy about Madonna.
So creative, though. I mean, she wrote. I don't know if she wrote the songs or not, but the creativity to create that persona.
But at what point does it end?
I'm going to be
At
a
what
slut.
point?
I'm going to bang everybody.
That persona.
I mean, that's not what she was to start with. She was like a virgin to start with, and
No,
she grew into.
I think that was the ironic twist on Like a Virgin. I don't think she ever was.
I'm with Royal Pain. It is also not popular to say that. I guess that's what you're asking for, is the not popular. I've never understood the Bruce Springsteen fascination.
Well, I'm right there with you on that.
I've never understood
I
it.
can't get it either.
Unbelievable lyrics again.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to third down.
Third down.
On this date in 1912, the old Titanic left Ireland heading for New York City.
You'd have loved a ticket on it.
Oh, yeah.
You would have. In England, you'd have been like, man, I got
think
me a ticket.
anybody would.
Yeah.
So that was going to
FOMO,
be
I'd want to get on.
FOMO.
the
Oh, I
question,
can't
though.
believe it.
Biggest unexplainable failure in sports history.
Fab
This
Five?
might be deep. We might have to, I don't know. I mean, it's so difficult to win a national championship in basketball.
But they didn't do it, and they were the Fab Five, the 5 best freshmen we'd ever seen together.
Ed
made it to the
Orgeron
game.
trashing the Ole Miss program. I mean, there's a ton of these that we could probably get into.
If you're going basketball, UNLV and making it to that national championship game and losing, that was unfathomable. I would say in football, thought that Patriots team that was about to go 19-0, losing to that Giants team was unbelievable.
We're about to get to that. So the fourth down's a little bit on that.
Okay. I don't want to correct you. I want to emphasize by correcting you. UNLV didn't even make the national championship
semifinals.
game. Duke beat them in the semifinals, and that's what's amazing about it is they were maybe the best team we'd ever seen and didn't even play for the national championship.
Yeah. That was that Villanova team that won the national championship? With Raleigh. I mean, who was not Villanova?
So they lost to Georgetown, or Georgetown. They beat Georgetown.
Patrick Ewing and Georgetown.
Patrick Ewing, Georgetown. Yeah. That group of players beating Patrick Ewing, Georgetown. Come on,
insane. But the good news is Patrick Ewing had won one the year before. But even more insane, Akeem Olajuwon in Houston, never getting anything.
Yeah, didn't win one. Those are all icebergs to me.
Fourth down.
On this date and
by the way, if your Dodgers don't win the World Series this year, I
would agree 100% to put that roster together and not lift a trophy.
How about this? On this date in 1970, the Reds lost 2-1 to the Giants. It was the only day the entire year the Reds weren't in first place. They ultimately didn't win the World Series. They lost to the Orioles in 5. But what is the most dominant one season you can remember from one team?
I mean,
because I was going to say the Patriots, but they didn't close the deal, so it can't be them.
72-win Bulls. I mean, when you win 72 games.
Yeah.
I mean, what did they have? 9 losses, 72-9. Is that right?
72-10.
72-10. I guess. Yeah, 82. I mean, when you only have 10 losses in an NBA season.
Yeah.
That 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, 2019 LSU at least was in a game against Alabama. I mean, Alabama's tightest game was against Florida.
Florida in the championship game. You forget, though, how tight that Texas game was for LSU because you didn't realize they were that good yet.
That's right.
That was a one-possession game.
And you forget that Texas A&M was driving down 8 in the pandemic year. Jimbo Fisher's A&M team at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and Alabama had to make a goal line stand. They could have scored, gone for 2.
I do forget that because that was A&M team that was a top 5 team.
Are you sure about that? I think you're thinking
I thought it was Tennessee.
It could have been late in the game, and it ended up being a double-digit win. But there was a moment in the game that I was nervous late that A&M was driving to have a chance to tie or take the lead.
Well, I remember that being a blowout.
No, I don't think so. Jimbo Fisher's Texas A&M team.
It was Jimbo's best team. That was their only loss that year. 2020 Alabama beat Texas A&M. Boy, a lot of information on that Wikipedia page about that Alabama team. I just want the score. Alabama beat Texas A&M
34-28.
59-21. You are misremembering this, my friend.
Okay.
I knew it was a blowout.
There's some, I know we're going to get to a leaderboard update. There's some action going on in Augusta.
Yeah.
There's a guy I've never even heard of his name, and he is making a run. Yeah, that's it.
That's 4 downs. The show also brought to you, before we get to the update, by a couple of great sponsors. One of them is our friends at A+ Brown.
Yeah, it is the guy that has redone the master bath in the Brown house, and he can do the same for you. It is Brad Bell and his great team. They're at A+. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Scott is showing you before and after photos, if you're watching this on video. If not, go back and look at it, of the master bath in my house. Before my wife scoured the internet looking for the right person to redo it, she found Brad Bell and his team there. They did tremendous work. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. It's not one of those one-day bath remodel places that you may have seen advertised. Brad, in fact, told me, he said, I do not mind you getting them to quote a job next to mine because you'll see my quote is better, and they don't do the same type of work, and he's right about that. He specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That is Brad Bell. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. AlabamaBathRemodels.com.
You're going to be on the couch or out at a sports bar watching Masters action all weekend long. Send the wife or girlfriend to Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers, right off of Highway 280. Beautiful location. You could stop in, see Stuart and the great staff. Tell them the next round sent you. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services, massages. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Order that special person gift online 24/7. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's Birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Let's do a Vulcan Tire and Automotive Masters leaderboard update. Before LT tells us about Vulcan Tire, let's pop the DeChambeau.
What do you mean pop the DeChambeau?
It's like champagne. Let's pop the DeChambeau. Is he not making a run?
He's making a run.
He is making a run. He's to 6 under. That's 3 under on the day. Pretty good day. So he's within 2 of Justin Rose. Ludwig Oberg has given one back, so he's at 4 under right where he started.
I hear he's a giver.
I'm assuming the run you're talking about is a guy named Matt McCarty.
Nope.
Okay. The run
right under Rasmus
Højgaard? Yeah, we talked about his brother yesterday. He had the most psychotic scorecard you'll ever see. 2 brothers playing. He's at 3 under, 4 under on the day as he plays
that's
on
pretty good
the
through
first
8.
9. I would say that's pretty good through 8. You're absolutely right. That gets him to 3 under. That's your leaderboard update from over at Augusta.
Brought to you by Vulcan Tire and Automotive LT.
Great locations throughout Birmingham. Make sure that car is serviced bumper to bumper before you hit the road this spring. Very important. Mention the next round. You're going to get the best tire pricing in Birmingham, guaranteed. For more information, VulcanTireandAuto.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park May 2nd through 4th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Experience 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, Ferris wheel, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Super Speedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Super Speedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Don't miss the action. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
This hour of the show always brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. I'm about to tell you a story that was sent to us from one of our viewers about Buzz Williams, why he moves on. And then I got a basketball question. But when it comes to all the great food that we love in the South, they have it at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. How about a shrimp po' boy? That's a Southern thing, right? You can get it right there. Or a chicken po' boy, whatever you want. They've got the Southern fried chicken, all the great sides, the chicken fingers, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's like all of the great Southern cuisines all in one place. Mississippi mud pie for dessert, key lime pie, whatever you want. They've got it right there at champy'schicken.com. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling. Great happy hour, too. They got the great TVs set up for you where you can enjoy the golf, the Masters. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. One of our great sponsors that's been with us since day one. All right, let me pull it up here. But if you followed Buzz Williams, how long does he stay at a job?
5 to 6 years is about his window.
That seems about right. The most surprising move probably to date was leaving Marquette to go to Virginia Tech, but right closely behind it is leaving College Station to go to Maryland at College Park.
Yeah, so 5 to 6 years he goes.
And I think he's a good coach.
Who, Buzz?
Yeah. I don't know if he's a great coach. I know he's a good coach.
He's a good coach that does really good press conferences. So the media, I think, probably likes him better than his coaching ability.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Maybe a I'm trying to
like I think a lot of times, Dunaway, correct me if I'm wrong, you follow the college basketball media world. The Jeff Goodmans of the world, if a guy's a good soundbite and does a lot of interviews with him, they're probably a little less critical about his coaching ability. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, right? Especially, yes, 100%.
Sam Pittman?
I think Sam, as I've always said, if Sam weren't as folksy as he was, he would have been fired by now. I think he's folksy, so people cut Sam a little bit of a break. Like, Sam's just, he could be my next-door neighbor, and I'd like him to be my next-door neighbor. Seems like a great neighbor to have, doesn't he?
He would be a great neighbor.
Yeah, so,
Is that where you go over and borrow a Bud Light instead of sugar?
Yeah. But Sam would crack one open for you. Here, have one out of my fridge.
So Kevin sent us this via social media. Karen had posted this on Twitter. Convinced Buzz Williams made a deal where he got to be a D1 basketball coach, but that one deadly snail was always chasing him, so he has to relocate every 5 years.
Because the snail takes so long to
I'm
get
confused.
there. So a deadly snail is chasing Buzz Williams.
Do I need to go grab an edible for this?
Yeah. So Buzz Williams, you can be a dead D1 coach.
Right.
But you got to relocate to stay ahead of a snail who is chasing you down.
But it's a snail, so it's going to be slow.
That's so, right. As true internet fashion goes, Troy replies to Karen, 1,435 miles from College Station to College Park, Maryland. Snails move on average 0.03 miles per hour.
Is this math going to work?
Yep. Since it's a demonic snail, let's assume it's going to go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's 47,833 hours, or 1,993 days, or 5.4 years. It's literally perfect for Buzz Williams.
That's right.
That this snail has been chasing him from location to location, and it takes about 5 years for that snail to get close enough to him to where he's got to move to a different location.
As you lay this out, that is the one thing. Like if Hale you're reincarnated as something you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not patient. I hate waiting in traffic. Can you imagine being a snail and living? That is the shittiest life, and not being able to take a nap.
Now, imagine being the snail and you get to College Station and they're like, you just missed Buzz.
Yeah. Where did he move to now? College Park.
Wait, so did the math work from Milwaukee to Blacksburg too?
It works everywhere.
And
Everywhere he's gone.
Blacksburg to College Station seems about the same as Blacksburg or College Station to College Park.
Yep.
Do we really have deadly snails?
I don't think we do
I bet
yet.
we do. I bet we do.
We don't yet.
I bet if you ate one, it could probably kill you,
Yeah.
but I just wonder if it touches you, if it can do anything.
Those scientists are working to bring them back, though.
Well, I tell you, that Rogan podcast is amazing. That guy.
All right, here's a serious question brought to you by our friend Alexander Shunnarah about basketball and about our buddy Stephen Pearl.
Cone snail, known for its potent venom that can be lethal to humans, delivered through a harpoon-like tooth. So if you get bitten by a cone snail,
damn.
that's a deadly
Would that
snail.
be a random way to go?
They're marine, so you're going to have to be in the water. That would be a random way to go. What got him? A cone snail.
Yeah.
Really? The deadly snail? Yeah.
I bet you would never know, right? That's one of those, cone snail gets you, you're like, damn, he must have had food poisoning,
Yeah,
something
like that,
happened.
That demonic snail probably just called ahead and said, it's the closest we've ever got him to the coast. It's on you now, brother.
I'm headed off with the cone snails. I'm retiring.
Yeah.
I got some numbers for you. The freshwater snail is responsible for more than 200,000 deaths a year.
That's impossible.
More deathts than sharks, lions, and wolves combined.
Melton, that's impossible. 200,000 people die from a freshwater snail?
Freshwater snails, watch out for them, yeah.
I don't-
It affects
I-
people
I-
mostly in Asia, Africa, and South America.
You know, there's just a lot of people that die that we don't think
Yeah,
about.
and they chalk it up to that. Let's just give it to the snail.
Well, was he in the water? It's probably the freshwater snail. Put that on the paper.
It was like you
Let's
read
go to
a-
lunch.
That'll scare him.
Yeah.
Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, 24 years. The firm's grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members, and they've recovered more than $2 billion. The firm handles anything that Alexander's community faced, and that was his vision. Personal injury claims, fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
Alan Huss was the coach at High Point this year, got him to the NCAA tournament. He was hired yesterday, leaving a head coaching job, to be an assistant coach at Creighton. That's his school. He's an alum of Creighton. They announced him as the coach in waiting behind Greg McDermott, who's only 60 and has not announced any plan to retire.
Boy, this is we used to see these, and it died off.
But Alan Huss, coach in waiting now at Creighton. It's the third major program now to have a coach in waiting.
Have we ever had the coach in waiting situation where the coach actually got fired for poor performance and the coach actually got to take over? I mean, that will never happen with McDermott.
Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Bowden.
Yeah, that was kind of it. Yep.
So Alan Huss, coach in waiting now.
It's a great job, by the way.
The others, Brian McCreason at Gonzaga is the coach in waiting for Mark Few, and Kellen Sampson is officially the coach in waiting at Houston behind Kelvin
Now, is
Sampson.
that new, or I
No.
just missed the story? Okay.
It has been that way at least for this whole basketball
Okay.
season. So my question is, should Auburn go ahead and name Stephen Pearl coach in waiting?
It seems like you're trying to, and Bruce should have complete autonomy of this program, but it seems like you're almost, I don't know, so much of a stronghold to have your kid as the coach in waiting. I think
Why does it work for Kelvin and Kellen
I don't know if
Sampson?
it does. I'm just saying that the look is not great, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I think you can look at situations like as successful as he is in the UFL now, the Skip and Lou Holtz did not work out. Lou wanted Skip to be given the coach in waiting. I don't know if he ever officially got the title at South Carolina or if it was just understood or if it's what Lou was fighting for, but it fell apart.
Yeah, and
there was some acrimony because of that.
I think a lot of people want people to earn their way, and Steven has earned his way, so it probably feels a lot different for Steven. But like when Pat Knight got the job, and again, I'd never done a deep dive on this. It seemed like it was kind of handed to him. You know, that's a hot button. Nepotism is for a lot of people.
It is, but here's what I would say. And this is, I'm going to play this both ways, okay? Like if you're Auburn, you never get Bruce Pearl if he doesn't have the issue at Tennessee.
You're right.
That's the only way Bruce Pearl's ever your head coach.
And you really wonder where Auburn would be right now. Probably not great.
Probably where they were with Tony Barbie and Jeff Lebo and all those guys that had failed, right? But because you got Bruce Pearl, when he retires, you will be able to hire the best coach you've ever hired other than Bruce Pearl.
I see what you're saying.
You'll be in a position to do that.
The program's never been better.
Yeah, when Bruce Pearl took over, let me think of I don't know, Dunaway. This is hard for me to even think of an example to use. I was trying to think of
Oregon football.
No. I was trying to think of a guy that's coaching right now that if Bruce Pearl retired today and they didn't hire Steven, that you could legitimately say that guy probably would say yes to the Auburn job. I don't know if a coach comes to mind immediately, a coach that we would know the name of. Like if say Bruce Pearl announced his retirement today, Steven said, you know what, I'm going to retire too. I'm not going to be the head coach. So Auburn now has a national search. Give me a coach that you think would say yes to that. A name I would recognize. Can you do that?
That would also excite Auburn fans.
Yeah.
I think they want to continue with Steven Pearl. If you're an Auburn fan, you want to keep the Pearl train rolling. I cannot think of a basketball coach that would leave their job
to take the Auburn
job that would excite Auburn fans more than Steven Pearl just keeping the band together.
Let me ask you this. Before it happened this year, because he just took a job at Will Wade. Will Wade would have left McNeese to come back to the SEC.
He would have done that. Yes.
Will Wade is a really good coach. If you're an Auburn fan, are you like, damn, I appreciate what Steven and the Pearls did, but I can get behind this Will Wade guy.
Scott says Chris Beard wouldn't leave Ole Miss for Auburn. Was that a rhetorical question, Scott, or was that?
I said that with a question mark.
No,
he would not. No.
He would not.
I mean, he didn't leave for Texas A&M.
Zero chance.
Why would you think he would leave Ole Miss for Auburn?
Because Auburn's a better job.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, historically, it's been the two worst jobs in the SEC.
But I mean, how much better of a job is it? And I think Chris Beard, with the loyalty, I really think he looks to what Bruce Pearl has done, and he was, a minute away from getting to a regional final.
I see a lot of empty seats at the Pavilion.
I'm with Scott. I will say this. To this point, Ole Miss has not supported Chris Beard fan-wise the way Auburn has Bruce Pearl. Now, I don't know how much that matters to Chris. He had a chance to take the Texas A&M job and did not. I don't know. I mean, I
don't think there's any way.
As I started this exercise, Jim, I thought I was going to be able to come up with a quick name that everybody would recognize, and I don't know that we can.
Yeah. Just something to keep in mind is now we've got three pretty big programs in Creighton, Gonzaga, and Houston rolling with coach in waitings. One of them is the son of the head coach. Do you, at some point, put that label for Steven Pearl out there moving forward?
Can I make a point? If the timing had been different, let's say after the 2019 national or Final Four, Bruce had said, "Got to tell you, man, that's what I wanted to do is take Auburn to the Final Four. I'm out," and they hired a little-known guy named Todd Golden. People probably wouldn't have gotten too fired up about that.
Nope.
No, not at that point.
And now any program in the country would take Todd Golden.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just shows you hiring coaches how big of a crapshoot it sometimes can be.
No, I mean, Todd Golden to Florida, Nate Oates to Alabama, those were names that nobody really knew. You had to research to get excited about them, and now you wouldn't trade them for anybody.
No, not at all.
For anybody.
And that's the thing.
Yeah, interesting. All right, back to football and the next developing twist out of Knoxville, Tennessee that has just dropped from On3 Sports.
What a day.
Brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them, our friends right there at Lake Fest, Brownie.
It is coming back in May. Lake Fest is the 15th annual edition this year. Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by Am First, May 9 through 11. Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is totally free to the public. It is Alabama's biggest in-water boat show. 80 boats, vehicles on display, lake lifestyle vendors, food trucks, beer garden, live music all weekend. Tons of giveaways. Friday, they got fireworks to honor our great United States veteran on the month of Memorial Day. Mermaids and Mateys Parade on Saturday. Free mimosas for Mom on Sunday on the month of Mother's Day. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. LoganMartinLakeFest.com. Don't forget, for the first time in history of Lake Fest, AmFirst is offering 0.5% off interest rates. That could save you $100 a month, up to $12,000 over the life of the loan. See more at LoganMartinLakeFest.com, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
And I want to remind you, Lance has locked 3 match plays for the second round of the Masters, one starting in mere minutes. It's going to be our first that we kick off today. 3 match play winners. Jump on board at Lance'sLock.com. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Spring weather is here. Our friends at Hemp Hill Services offering that $1,000 off the new HVAC installs, plus 0% financing. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Make sure your HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. They're actually coming to my house Monday to make sure my HVAC is ready to keep up with this changing weather. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right, here's the latest developing story. This now from The folks at On3 Sports, Nico Iamaleava's reps wanted to see his NIL deal upped to $4 million in the $4 million range before the winter portal closed, Chris Lowe is reporting now. Tennessee officials says they weren't going to blink. And so that's where they are now. So they want to get to the $4 million range of his NIL, and Tennessee officials are not blinking on this. That from Chris Lowe.
Okay, I could be completely wrong here, but do you guys believe somebody else would pay him $4 million to come in?
I do not.
I do not.
Yeah,
I think if he hit the portal, Brown, he would be surprised at the crickets.
I think as a free agent, he would find Tennessee was his best deal. Honestly, I think the deal you had was your best deal.
I think this hurts him too. Like, are we going to bring this guy in if he has a great year? I mean, he could go to the NFL, but how much more money is he going to want?
Yeah.
Is he going to want? Is he going to hold out on us?
I will. Let's just do the two in our state who do their A-Day practices open tomorrow. E.g., by the way, Emily Grace McWhorter will be at Bryant-Denny. I will be at Jordan-Hare Stadium for the spring games tomorrow, and we'll have coverage at Next Round Live for that. If Nico was in the portal, would Alabama or Auburn be interested in
No,
not at all.
Jackson Arnold, I mean, to me, is as good or better.
Not at all.
Yeah, and Alabama's kind of sight unseen, but I think it seems like Kalen DeBoer is really comfortable with all three quarterbacks.
That's right. And
do you want to disrupt your locker room?
Go around. You know, the place that may be interested now, only because of the DJ Lagway injury that Matt Hayes is talking about, would be Florida. That may be your best shot to get a deal.
And that's interesting you bring that up, because if I'm Scott Strickland, Billy Napier, obviously he's all in on whoever's going to win games for him. If Lagway, if he does have some serious a situation where he's not able to play the majority of the games this year, now you're not going to come in if you're Nico and play behind him.
No.
But if you wanted to give the ultimate FU to Tennessee, hey, we'll pay you $4 million.
Yeah,
come on over.
But if Lagway, if they were like, hey, this arm's not getting better, we're going to go ahead and do the surgery. 2025 is not happening. I'll be back in 2026. Nico is going to be wanting done to the NFL. Well, then you spend the money if you're Florida. But you go around South Carolina, they're happy with Sellers. LSU, they're happy with Nussmeier.
Georgia?
Georgia.
I think Kirby Smart would probably say, I'll take Gunnar Stockton over Nico. I think Kirby's comfortable with what Gunnar Stockton does for him.
Yeah.
Probably, but it seems like, again, we haven't seen a lot of Gunnar Stockton, but seems like Nico would be an upgrade there. But
I think he's probably an upgrade, but I don't think it would be worth going to the trouble for that upgrade. I mean,
and you can lose some of your team with that. Like Gunnar Stockton seems like one of those guys that you saw how they played in the second half.
Oh, how excited they were! Yeah,
when he almost got decapitated.
Arch Manning, Texas, no shot,
not a chance.
Texas A&M,
they want Haynes King back.
Yeah. They would love to have him back.
Yep.
I mean, you're down the list now.
You are.
You're down the list of SEC contenders.
And that's what Heupel's got on.
Before you get anybody that would be interested in Nico.
Yeah, you think you've got leverage on us. Look, we paid you a lot of money. We had a successful year. Let's go out. If you play, what 19-year-old needs $4 million? If you play to the level that we think you're capable of, one of the reasons we gave you $4 million, we're going to have a great season, and you're going to achieve all your goals. You're going to get drafted in the first round, and you're going to make millions and millions of dollars.
That's right. Here we go again. This is Chris Lowe. Right before the winter portal closed, Iamaleava's reps wanted to see his deal up to the $4 million range. And again, this time, as the spring portal opens on Wednesday, his representatives have gone to Tennessee, according to Chris Lowe's sources. And according to his sources, this is how Chris writes it. Tennessee officials said they, quote, weren't going to blink, end quote. So we're not changing. He's going to walk, or he's going to take the deal and come back to practice.
Hey, good for them. I hope they dig in on this.
Yeah, Iamaleava's reps were adamant Thursday to news outlets that there was no NIL renegotiations going on, but sources tell ESPN there has been growing frustration among the administration and players about the situation, especially when Iamaleava did not show up for practice today.
And that's, to me, that's the big concern is among players. Like, once his teammates see this and see immature actions, and And once, your starting left tackle's like, all right, look, I get everybody needs some money. I'm making $75,000 and I'm happy to be getting that, but I'm also out here busting my butt for it. And you're not willing to do that with me. What does that do to your locker room?
Yeah.
I mean, it's different in the NFL a little bit. I mean, guys, as you mentioned, do this in the NFL. But I do think when the quarterback Lance finally gets that deal, he does have to probably mend some fences with some guys on that team.
I mean,
the NFL figures it out because they're all professionals, but he's got to come back and mend some fences. Like, guys, I know y'all were out there busting your butt in the August heat while I was sitting at home demanding a new contract, but I'm here with you now, and I'm going to prove it to you.
I never wished it was Tuesday more than I do right now.
Why do you wish it was Tuesday?
I wish Clay Travis was on in the next segment.
He tweeted about it. You want to know what he said?
Yeah, give that to me. It's our MyBookie, What Did Clay Say? Tweet of the day.
MyBookie.ag.
Why didn't Clay just pay him?
Well, that's what Fuhrman said.
I mean, he's top 5 guy, he believes.
MyBookie.ag, code next round. Code next round at MyBookie.ag is going to give you that sign-on bonus, 50% up to $1,000. 50% sign-on bonus up to $1,000 when you use code next round at MyBookie.ag. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere. The Masters, if you want to play this weekend. By the way, you got some good value. Lance told me on Justin Rose earlier where those numbers were that I pointed out, and he's now to 9 under par, Lance. So you said if he got to 10 under,
if he gets to 10, he will be in the mix all weekend long.
Yeah, so there you go. You could have played that at MyBookie.ag. Code next round gets you 50% sign-on bonus at MyBookie.ag up to $1,000. $10 casino chip as well. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. To summarize what Clay said, I won't read everything.
Thank you.
But he said if this is true, if he didn't show for practice, time to cut bait.
Oh, I
cut
like
and go.
that.
And Clay makes the point, like, if the kid is ever any good, and there's Clay's tweets, Scott is showing you those. If he's ever any good, what he can make in college is a pinprick of what he can make in the NFL. Why risk that in college for another $2 million?
Yeah. By the way, if I'm watching as an NFL organization, this shows me I'm going to draft a holdout. Said someone.
Well, and if he gets how big of a prima? I guess you deal with that if he gets that good.
Yeah.
But if he's just borderline between good and really good, he seems like he's got an elite attitude.
He does, without an elite
without an elite ability. Yeah.
Okay, let's bounce through some sound really quick on Auburn and Alabama wrapping up spring drills. Here's Kalen DeBoer on Keelan Russell, 5-star quarterback, new on campus, his place in the quarterback battle.
Keelan's doing a great job, but with Ty and Austin, Keelan definitely works in with the twos. He'll get 1 reps from time to time, but that's no indication of really where we feel he's at. He's killing it. He's doing a great job. You can see when he's out there, he's getting more and more comfortable moving the ball down the field. When there's a throw to be made, he'll make the throw, that's for sure. So just the learning curve, I think, that comes along with being young, but those other two guys, a little bit more, as far as understanding the offense, and you're trying to continue to install things, and they have a grasp of the basics from day one, so you can do just a few more things. But, they're all three, making throws, making some big-time throws.
There's a lot of people starting to say that there'll be a Keelan Russell package.
Oh, I brought it up the other day with Clint. Yeah. So we're already did the Keelan Russell package phase.
I think by the time we get into early August, I think Alabama fans are going to go from Ty Simpson to Russell.
Oh, you think he'll be the popular starter?
I think he's going to be the popular. I mean, there is something about man, we've got this great talent. Why not go on and unleash him?
Our friends from Auburn Athletics with this video of Malcolm Simmons, an unbelievable wide receiver for Auburn. By the way, it's that time of year when the WAKA Channel 8 Montgomery mic flag is back in a weirdly placed microphone.
We're just going to stand it straight up and get what we get. Yeah.
Do you want to have the Leaning Tower of Pisa microphone? No, give me the Washington Monument. I'm going to go just straight up, like we're about to launch our microphone into space. Just straight up. Just set it right there. But let's make sure it's in the shot.
If they want a little love for Waka, they get it.
They do. Yeah, it helps.
My buddy Jeff's the GM down there. It's a great station growing there in Montgomery. Malcolm Simmons.
Growing.
Yeah, it's growing. Don't get your spray tan there, though.
Malcolm Simmons on his connection with Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight.
Amazing. Two great quarterbacks. I mean, both of them throwing the ball how we want them to throw the ball, and as long as they can continue to do that, I can see some big things this season. Just his decision making, him knowing where the ball is supposed to be, and being able to look at the defense and knowing where to throw the ball. And same with Deuce. I mean, both of them. I think both of them neck and neck right now because both of them throwing good balls, and that's what we need. We need a good quarterback and somebody to be able to run the offense and run the system that Free's running.
Poor Peyton Thorne.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. You think he is just like
drive-by after drive-by old Peyton Thorne.
And I never thought he was a bad quarterback.
No.
I didn't either. I thought
he had some drops. He did have some terrible turnovers, but like the way he carried himself.
I thought it was about as good as
me.
I mean, his protection wasn't fantastic.
I think we forget how bad some quarterback play was in this state. Both sides, Tuscaloosa and Auburn over the years.
I see what you're saying. ESPN did a ranking of the best receivers in college football as we get ready for the spring games coming up.
I think Jeremiah Smith's got to be number one.
He is number one there on the list. The one thing I noticed is that Ohio State's got 2 in the top 10.
Cardell Tate's finally there.
Yep. Clemson's got 2 in the top 10.
That's a first for a long time.
Yep, but they've got 2 in the top 10. By the way, Ryan Williams is number 2 of Alabama. So it's Ohio State, Smith, Ryan Williams, Alabama 2. Alabama does not have another one in the rankings.
I mean, I would have given Bernard a hard look.
This is in all of college football, not the SEC. So 2 from Ohio State in the top 10, 2 from Clemson. Alabama's got the number 2 overall receiver. Auburn has got the 6th and the 12th on the others receiving votes, the 6th and the 12th. So virtually 2 in the top 12, the Auburn Tigers. And it's not who you think it is that's best. It's a kid from Georgia Tech.
Eric Singleton. I was going to say, if they went Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons, I think they're sleeping on Eric Singleton.
Yeah.
So they did go Singleton.
Singleton, 6th overall.
Yeah, I think he's really good.
In the country in receivers.
Yeah, I like Auburn's receiving group.
Yeah, Cam is right there. I think it's either 11 or 12, just off the list. You can see the whole list at ESPN.com.
If you'll remember our blind rankings the other day, when you gave us units, I put Auburn's receiving room number 2 overall, Alabama secondary number 1. They're interchangeable to me. But I think it is definitely Auburn's best group. I know you were making an argument for Auburn secondary, but I like this Singleton kid. I think he can be really, really good.
6th in the country. Only 5 receivers, including Alabama's Ryan Williams, but 6th in the country, Singleton there at ESPN.com. Go see that whole
Hey, just randomly, where was Jordan Tyson for Arizona State?
He's on the list. Okay. I remember that.
Because you remember he was the big miss when he didn't play. And
I think he slides in either 3, 4, or 5, somewhere right around there. I'll go look at the list in the break. You can do it as well at ESPN.com. College football and our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, they go together, those great tailgate packages. We're not too far away from it now, 134 days. In fact, I actually let everyone on the staff know when we start our 40 and 40 countdown last night. It's coming up in May. It's coming up in May, and that takes us right up to SEC Media Days, which takes us right up to the start of the season. So there is a start date for the 40 and 40 that is floating around the offices right now. And Champy's Chicken gets you ready for football anytime. You want to taste a little bit of that tailgate, just go to Highway 119 in Alabaster, see Sterling and the crew. Go watch the Masters there this afternoon and enjoy a cocktail with Megan and the crew there. Mississippi Delta recipes, tamales, and so much more. When we come back, Bobby Petrino, why he will never be a head coach again. He sort of let the cat out of the bag when we come back next on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hey, you. days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now, code NEXTROUND, and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The 15th annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show, presented by AmFirst, is May 9th through the 11th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. The Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show is totally free to the public. Bama's biggest in-water boat show, 80 boats, lake lifestyle vendors, food trucks, beer garden, and live music all weekend long. There's fireworks on Friday night to honor veterans, a mermaid parade on Saturday, and free mimosas for Mama on Sunday. All by going to LoganMartinLakeFest.com, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Superspeedway, is ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to this track, you've got to come check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway. It's April 25th through the 27th, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We'll get cut 13 queued and ready to go. Bobby Petrino. Well, before Michelson Laser Vision is talked up by our buddy LT, I want to take a look at what I did yesterday afternoon. Got to hang out with the Forrester family. Wonderful day with Moody High School softball. It was a doubleheader with Carver High School.
Play two.
Senior night, let's play two. Beautiful weather, sunshine. So we get out there, and I don't know if I got video or pictures first here. You just roll it, and I'll commentate. There's the team. I get to take a picture with them. They had their cool new blue pinstripe unis on.
I was about to say, that is a good-looking uniform. I didn't know it was new.
Second time we've worn those.
I like that.
Sharp.
Yeah, I like the pinstripes, Scott. It's a good look for you.
Moody made it to the state championship game last year, if I remember correctly.
We did. We were one win away from being state champs.
So a big senior class back, including Forrester's daughter and a lot of people that are going to go out and play college softball. Great program, Coach Seymour and them over there. And I got to announce Senior Day festivities and got to announce both doubleheader games. I originally was going to only stay for one game. I wasn't going to stay for two. But Forrester, why could I do? Oh, that's me at the press box.
Look
up
at
there.
you! Yep. 1, 2, 3 strikes.
Take me out. Yeah. I told Forrester, I said I'm only going to stay for one game. Not going to stay for two. But why was I able to do both games so quickly, Forrester?
Well, that would be because there were no games.
What happened? Rain out?
We got stood up.
A team didn't show up.
We got stood
up. For a double dip, a team didn't show up?
An area game.
For a double dip area game on our senior night.
Well, somebody needs to lose their job over that. I hate to be that extreme, but when you've got girls that will be playing their last home game on senior night and a team doesn't show up and you just like if you would have called earlier in the day and there's some kind of incredible excuse, I get that, but just not showing up.
Here you go. I'm going to show you the entire first game right now.
This is the entire first game.
Oh, so y'all had to pitch to get the forfeit?
Yeah, you got to throw a pitch for it to be an official game.
I mean, what a silly rule that is. But
And
all right.
of course, me on the PA, Moody wins. Moody wins.
They will not keep him off the field
Here you
tonight.
go. Here's game 2.
Is this game two? Did y'all rest between or we go back to back?
We did our senior night ceremony between.
Okay, that's good.
Get
Good
out
planning.
the brooms. Moody wins.
That was Haley catching on the second one.
Hey, by the way, Scott's daughter Haley. Like nobody called ahead. They just no-showed.
Oh, wait. So at about 4:10, game's supposed to start at 4:30. I looked at the old boy sitting next to me up there, Chad, in the booth, and I'm like, I got a feeling this team's not showing up because they're not here yet. Nobody. Moody's,
20 minutes till first
Moody's
pitch.
done batting practice in the cage. They've taken a couple of infield. They're shagging balls. There's not another team. And I looked at the old boy and I'm like, hey, is there anybody ever never not show up? About that time. Hey, we're waiting on a bus.
Oh, okay. So they blamed it on they didn't have a bus.
And then it kept going. Still waiting on a bus.
Well, let me just say, and I don't think it helps to call the school out.
No. I'm sure it's not the kids' fault for
Well,
sure.
but the problem is the adults failing the kids.
And that's why I'm saying one of those adults needs to lose their job.
Whoever the bus was that screwed it up or screwed up getting the bus or the coach that didn't do their job, you're failing the kids.
Administration, whatever.
Yeah.
I will say it is strange that 0 parents showed up. So it's not like they were waiting on the team to arrive either.
Yeah.
So.
I hate it that the adults are failing the kids.
That was
That's
a
the
late
sad
April
part.
Fools on you guys.
Yeah.
Felt like it.
But there were grandparents and folks that drove, family members that drove from Georgia to watch their Moody kids play
Yep.
in senior night.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's
could you
pathetic.
guys not do some kind of inter squad? I mean, I don't know how deep the roster goes, but could you?
I called third base. I tried to talk him into parent and gym
Hot corner?
softball versus the seniors.
You think you could have got a hit?
I don't know if I could have gotten a hit. I wanted to play some third base in my rowback gear. That would have been fun.
Hey, Nicholas asked, did y'all throw another girl for game 2? Did somebody else get a win, or did y'all pitch the same pitcher game 1 and game 2?
No, we threw 2 of our seniors.
All right, so they both got a win.
Chloe pitched in
Cat
one
in the
game.
first one, Chloe in the second one.
Good for Chloe and Kat.
Perfect games as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. No,
Yeah.
Matt didn't touch it.
And the umpires got all the calls right. It was
And the
really,
check.
really good.
And the umpire was the one that loved it the most.
Yeah.
He got that game check, didn't he?
And free hot dogs while he's waiting on the other team. All
Hey,
right.
coolest moment of the night though was just getting Haley to get to see Haley catch again. It's been a while. She's been dealing with a lot of injuries, so we
Look
had to
at
give
that.
up catching for a while.
Yeah. So
But,
was that the first time, Scott?
Yes.
Oh, man,
First
good for
time
her.
in-
Yeah, like Debbie, Scott's
Like a year
wife,
and a
didn't
half.
know they still had the gear in the garage. We still have the catching gear, and
Yeah.
Scott ran home to get it.
Oh, that's cool,
did.
man.
Yeah, what a good-looking shot there. Oh, that's even a better-looking shot. You're a good photographer.
Wow, that is.
Hey, thanks.
Looks- ball about to go in the mitt for the
Yeah.
one pitch of the game.
Yeah.
I get to. I have the privilege of doing one of these senior nights coming up. I think April 22nd.
I noticed the language change.
Vestavia again?
Yeah, I'm hoping that their opponent shows up.
Yeah.
I think they will. I feel good about this, that we're not going to have 2 of the same situations.
Yeah, there's Forrester. I was texting a couple of people on our staff, Taylor and EG. I was like, Forrester, man, is the one of the great fathers. I'm watching him run around this ballpark up here today trying to keep me happy, which isn't easy, and keeping all these people happy, taking pictures, senior pictures and stuff. Look at the family plus Jim there.
Hey,
Yeah, if you ever wonder if Forrester likes you or not, this is all you need.
Yeah, I think Scott does like you.
Yeah.
You like Jim, Scott?
He's all right.
Yeah.
Jim's very popular. He's come out these last couple of years to do this event, and we appreciate him greatly.
If they take home the trophy, will you be in the parade?
If they will let me be the Santa Claus at the end of their parade,
No,
absolutely.
Santa Claus is calling balls and strikes.
I mean,
I don't know if you saw that photo.
I mean, 3 straight senior nights, you almost deserve a ring, right?
Yeah,
I think you should get it.
And my signature call. Moody wins. Tell us about Michelson.
205-969-8100, the number that I called 22 years ago now. Make that phone call today. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. True pioneer. Him and his daughter, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. For more information, you can always go online, michelsonlaservision.com.
Hey, by the way, December 13th is that date. Arizona and Alabama are going to play basketball down at Legacy Arena. I think our friends with
Night Edie
will be putting that on again.
I did get a text from our buddy Matt Mosley, and he specifically sent it to you, and I meant to tell you this. He said, please forward to Hoops Dunaway, and it was the announcement of that.
Yeah.
Look. He is so sarcastic.
Arizona, Alabama at Legacy, December 13th. Remember, they played out in Phoenix in the 2023-24 season, so that's a quad one game coming up. Stephen Pearl hinted that Auburn has a big home-and-home announcement coming up soon, but he would not tell us who it is, so keep an eye out for that. And then there's Bobby Petrino, who, when he took the job at Arkansas, Sam Pittman on the hot seat, we all thought there's a way this guy could be the head coach.
Yeah, and based on the way the contract laid out, it looked like Pittman gets 500 or below, that they can fire him with a lesser buyout. And it just seemed like it was going to be that bye weekend going in, that Arkansas's offense could be really good. Didn't play out like that, but I still wouldn't be surprised.
He says in the news conference this week, that he gets asked about, have you talked to the new general manager, the guy who's handling the NIL and all that? And you can tell really quickly that he is happy to just coach football.
No, sir, I haven't had any reactions. It's above my, what do you say, pay grade? Is that what you say? Whatever.
Having that be above your pay grade now, coming from, your head coaching experience, now being a coordinator, where now that's, Sam's thing to deal with?
Yeah, it's fun in certain things, in certain aspects. That's definitely one of them. Like when I was at A&M, assistant coaches weren't involved or knew anything about the NIL or anything like that. It was just, you guys coach, and this all goes to this department. So that was a good deal. You didn't have to worry about it. Sometimes you lost a kid or two because of you didn't know and you couldn't help recruit them. But that's how they dealt with it there. But I'm enjoying my role. I'm happy being in the classroom. It's been a lot of fun. Being back teaching every day in the classroom, and the relationships you build with the players, and they know way more about me than anybody else on the football team. So that's been kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that he calls it the NIL.
That's what I was about to tell you. I don't even know what it is. The
I'm
NIL.
so old, I call it the NIL.
Yeah.
I'm never going to deal with it.
In the same interview, Brown, they asked him about it. You grade the quarterbacks after practice, and they get an Excel sheet about the play, and he goes, Excel. And yeah, they get an Excel spreadsheet on plays and your grades on them. He goes, I scribble my grades down. I scribble them down on a sheet of paper and hand them to my assistant. Now, he may put them on, what do you call it, Excel, to give to them. But I'm just
large.
Yeah. Bobby Petrino, I think, very happy being the coordinator at Arkansas.
So I'm guessing he's probably got like Tom Allendale, and then who was the other coach that got that?
Oh, he's easily
don't have to recruit.
Yeah, they don't have to recruit.
Yeah, easily over $1 million and no headaches. He's just coaching ball.
That's right. I'm just coaching ball. Don't have to recruit.
Just coaching ball. That gets us to Trash Today, brought to you in part by our friends at NASCAR. Brownie, tell us about NASCAR.
Yeah, it's coming to the Talladega Superspeedway. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com for tickets. April 25th through 27th is the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 at Talladega. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Tim Melton, if you will.
Congratulations, the Cure Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees 2019. Are you as excited as I am?
By the sounds of it, no.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Yeah, we haven't had a cold beer on the set in a long time on a Friday. Have we?
Long time.
Got that tap right there behind you. I had we had a guest up here yesterday, and he's worked in the industry.
Did he have a cold beer?
He did not, but he was blown away at our studio. And then he spun around and saw the beer keg. He's like, You got to be kidding me. I was like, no, man, it's a real beer keg.
I was calling on a client, and apparently she had been here one time before, and she's, I don't know, around our age, maybe a little older, and she was like, man, y'all got the keg in your place. She was like, I'd never seen that before. I was like, you probably never see it again.
Yeah, probably won't.
Our buddy Heath submitted this one. Skiing or snowboarding while intoxicated at a Colorado resort is illegal.
Illegal?
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
I mean, you mispronounce encouraged?
I guess you hit a tree while drunk, that's frowned upon.
Yeah,
but the
is.
concern in doing so isn't just about the crime. It's about how intoxicated slope goers can jeopardize the well-being of others on the mountain, too.
Great point, great point.
Now, a
It's
recent
almost like a
case
DUI.
of an intoxicated snowboarder at Keystone Resort resulted in a scary situation as the end of the season neared. According to the Summit County Sheriff's Office, Keystone Ski Patrol called their team to property in recent days related to an intoxicated snowboarder who was discovered off a steep embankment. It was reportedly determined the man was too intoxicated to return to an established ski run himself, also too intoxicated to be able to assist patrollers in their attempts to getting back to safety. In order to save the man, Ski Patrol set up a rope system to extract him, with the man reportedly becoming unconscious at some point due to his high level of intoxication. According to this report, it took him 2 hours to wake up.
Boy, that is drunk there. I can't imagine. Like if you were marginally over the legal limit, like it's a coin flip, that's one thing. But if you're so drunk you take 2 hours to wake up and you're still snowboarding, what are you well, you're not thinking.
Well, you're not thinking.
Well, it's probably partied all night, partied till 5 or 6, got a couple of hours sleep, woke up drunk, started drinking again.
Well, you're blacked out at that point. So you don't know what you're doing, but you're still functioning.
Yeah.
Minecraft movie back in the news. Boy, too much.
Chicken jockey.
It grossed well over $300 million at the box office during its first week. That success has been marred somewhat by the Minecraft rowdy fans that we talked about earlier this week. There's one scene that the chicken jockey, Jack Black scene that we talked about. This went to another level when somebody actually brought a live chicken into the theater.
What are we doing?
Now, the incident has quickly gone viral, was filmed from at least 2 different angles, implying most of the moviegoers in the screening were very aware of the chaos that would ensue during the chicken jockey scene. Almost everyone in the cinema starts celebrating as Black says the line, but the focus is the fan in the middle wearing the creeper mask. Fan proudly holds a chicken in the air as people around him celebrate, quickly getting the person whose shoulders they're sitting on to put them down when the movie abruptly stops and the lights go up.
Melton, this movie's going to make a fortune, isn't it?
It is. It's already one of the highest grossing video game movies of all time. Had the best opening for a video game movie ever. And video game movies right now are making a ton of money. And the adaptations on HBO, all of that. So.
Worldwide, it could hit $1 billion.
Definitely could. Yeah. The director came out and said he thinks it's ridiculous police are being called to the theater for anything, that kids are just having a good time, basically.
Well, I was going to say this the other day, but it dates me every time I do this, but we used to do the Rocky Horror Picture Show back when I was in high school in the early 80s.
I've never seen it.
And
I haven't either.
It was, we would probably do it once a month in the theater in Hoover. And you would throw toast. It seems like there was some water involved, water guns.
Rice, I believe, at one
rice
point,
in it. So it was a mess to clean up. It was only a midnight showing.
But it was a bunch of adults. Here's what I would say.
No, at the time, it was high school and college kids.
Okay, well, still adult-like. Like, there are probably kids that are 8, 9, 10 that want to see the Minecraft movie, and there's probably grandparents and parents that want to take them.
Right.
So it's almost like we need to have a theater where you can do what you want in the Minecraft, and then we've got the kid theater for Minecraft to allow them to. Well, they should do that for this, or they're going to have to.
Too many people were singing, so they made sing-along versions for people to watch a month later. So it's been done before, but it's a bad thing for theater employees all the way around when they have to clean up all this
No
stuff.
doubt.
That is
They're
bad.
the big losers here.
A restaurant in Thailand drawing attention and criticism for offering discounts to their skinniest patrons. Now, customers at the Chiang Mai Breakfast World in northern Thai City can get up to 20% off their bill, provided they can fit their body through a series of increasingly narrow gates erected near the beer garden's entrance.
It's like you must be this tall to ride the ride. Yeah.
And video posted to Instagram, you see right there.
She can fit through, by the way.
Tourist struggles to squeeze between a set of metal bars labeled 15%, but is unable to pass through, even with the help of another man nudging him. The tourist then tries the 10% gate, managing to fit his head, one leg, and one arm through. Ultimately, gap proves a little too small. He finally goes to the 5% gate. He succeeds, then approaches the widest gate labeled full price.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Full price. Sorry.
That's how I got back to my car. Emily Grace and I were covering Alabama LSU, and after we'd done all the post game and everything, I'm walking back to my car, and I walked down the road I'd been pedal taxied in on, and I got to a gate and I was closed, and I wasn't about to walk back out and around back to the main street over to my parking, so I had to squeeze through a fence and made it through probably at the 5% discount with a little bend in there. Somebody had helped me out with a little bend around the belly area.
Yeah, 4.5%.
Chad Baker Mazara could do 15%.
Yep.
Dylan Cardwell's definitely full price, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. Her, I think her issue of getting the 15% discount is about to start the way she's going through the gate right there.
Yeah, I think
she gets in free probably.
I was going to say she probably gets her meal free based on, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. He's probably not unfinished.
Post on Facebook page advertising the restaurant showed that at one point, one of the gates offered free food through a disclaimer on the sign notes that discounts only apply to customers over the age of 18. Now, they went on to say on the Facebook page, it's just for fun. The discounts are real. After the challenge, kick back, relax, enjoy your well-earned discount with us in our beautiful garden oasis. Now, the policy has drawn backlash from some, of course. Everywhere you're going to get backlash.
Indeed.
Social media comments and reviews have expressed discomfort and disgust at the discounts, describing the idea as discriminatory, potentially supportive of eating disorders. Now, in a response to a review that described the restaurant as fatophobic, the Google account listed as the Breakfast World's owner wrote, "We have 200 to 300 guests every day, and a 99.9% of them have fun with our discount. Maybe just not take everything so seriously and see discrimination in everything." We do, unfortunately, see discrimination in everything.
We do, yeah.
I mean that's a fun thing.
Yes. I mean,
unless you're a 7-foot giant who's also massive, that
pay full
feels
price.
shame.
You're paying full price.
Pay full price.
I have to go around the gate. It's too short.
Yes, Milton's like, I'm going to have to pay more.
Okay,
I'm paying a tariff to eat.
Now, the first fan base I ever remember doing this was the old New Orleans Saints with the Aints.
I think it is mine too, LT.
Yeah, it's because they would show them on TV all the time.
You guys are not going to like this at all, though.
Okay.
Pirates fan hoping to send a silent but clear message about the state of the team was forced to remove the bag he was wearing on his head, prompting the team to explain why the symbolic gesture isn't allowed for safety reasons. Now, frustrated by the play on the field, the Roberto Clemente logo that we talked about, the removal of that, the Bucco Bricks disappearance, season ticket holder Tom Lohr decided to wear a brown paper bag on his head to Wednesday's game. He went on to say, quote, "It sends a message that wearing a bag on our head that we're proud to be Pirates fans, but we're embarrassed of the product on the field and how the team's being run. For me, it represented a nice, peaceful, silent protest." I agree with this. I don't see anything wrong with this. Now, during the third inning, that's when a ballpark staff member told Lohr that he either had to take the bag off or leave. Now, he took the bag off. He said, quote, "I asked why," and he said there's no mask policy at the ballpark, explaining it prompted him to check the ballpark's rules online. He said, "Man, there's a lot of rules, but none say anything about a mask." And that's when a Pirate spokesperson told KDKA-TV, unwritten rule that fans aren't allowed to cover their entire heads at the ballpark, explaining it's a rule that's common at sports venues across the country. I get that it might be common, but like this is different. If somebody's wearing a ski mask and wearing this,
yeah,
I mean, this is symbolic of things that we've seen for decades.
I would ask the question, if I of a Muslim faith and I'm a baseball fan and we're at the ballpark and my wife is with me and we are whatever part of the Muslim faith that is so adhering to the rules of that extreme part of the faith, that
the one where the woman only show like that,
her eyes, are they going to kick me out? Because if not, I'm calling my buddy Alexander Shunnarah, or if they are, I'm calling Alexander Shunnarah and suing them for freedom of religion.
And good news, they don't pay unless he wins your case.
Yeah.
Shunnarah.com.
I mean, would you be surprised at all if somebody in the front office heard about this hey, we got to get one of the employees on this.
Yeah, they're doing it because they're embarrassed because of the.
You've gotten bad enough people are wearing bags.
Yeah.
I mean, the Braves are a couple losses away from this.
They won last night. One game win.
Hey,
and playing Tampa this weekend, the ability is there for a sweep.
It would suck if you had the seat behind this person. Now, nobody's in any of the seats, but, I mean, that would be the bad part there. I would be upset if I had to sit behind this person.
But I bet old Tom there would probably fold it down or cut off the top.
Yeah, maybe so.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And we always enjoy those great folks there at Bud Light. We enjoyed the Masters as we're watching Justin Thomas hit out of another trap, but he's hanging there fighting.
That
was a practice.
Area.
He was practicing. He's at +1. He's hanging in there fighting. We were watching him hit out of a trap. He's hanging in there at +1. There was nothing I said that was illegal.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Okay, but it is part of a Vulcan Tire and Automotive leaderboard update.
And Justin Rose is still your leader. He is at 8 under par, 1 under on the day.
He's hanging in there.
As he plays on the 15th. Hottest round of the day, though, meaningful round, has been, well, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, Bryson, a lot.
Bryson DeChambeau, though, is the guy that you would have faith that could win this thing.
Yeah.
He is at 7 under par, 4 under on the day, as he is still playing the first 9, excuse me. One of the more interesting rounds of the day is Matt McCarty. He is currently in third place, tied for third with Sungjae M. They are both 4 under the day on the day, but Matt McCarty started bogey to be all the way up to 2 over, started double bogey to be all the way up to 2 over. He's got it all the way back to 5 under on the back nine. Went from 2 over after 2 to 5 under.
Normally a guy, and obviously he's had success, but not success to the level of these other guys. When you start out bogey on day 2 trying to make the cut, that's when the pressure gets to you.
Yeah.
That's a Vulcan Tire leaderboard update.
Nick Dunlap just teed off, by the way.
Oh, boy. That's going to be a fascinating round to watch.
Great locations throughout Birmingham. Very important. Mention the next round. They are going to guarantee the best tire pricing in Birmingham. Make sure that vehicle is serviced bumper to bumper from our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive before you hit the road. For more information, VulcanTireandAuto.com.
If you're a Kentucky, Arkansas, or Auburn basketball fan, watch the name Lamar Wilkerson of Sam Houston State over the weekend. See if he makes a decision. Kentucky, Arkansas, Auburn, pretty good basketball player there out of the portal. Baylor's Rob Wright did end up going to BYU. He was an 11-point per game to take over at BYU on the point. And then Notre Dame got a big football recruit yesterday. 5-star defensive end Rodney Dunham going to Notre Dame. He's from Charlotte, North Carolina. He picks Notre Dame over Georgia and Tennessee. I'm telling you, Marcus Freeman has turned the corner there at Notre Dame at getting talent in. 5-star defensive end, one of the best players in the country coming off the edge, and he picked Notre Dame over 2 SEC schools, not named Alabama or Auburn. Georgia and Tennessee there. That's a big get to wrap up our show today. We are back with you Monday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget the Meltdown every day at 2 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Don't forget all of the other stuff at Next Round Live, including coverage from both A-Day festivities tomorrow in Tuscaloosa and Auburn. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.